Hold on. Don't go live yet, Jamie.
Too late.
Too late.
Okay, because I was gonna have Carrie tell you exactly what she means. Hey man, she respect you a lot, man. She like that Prince, man, something else. I said, fuck that nigga. Really?
Like I say, she needed to line me back up. I'm off track, man. I'm telling you, I need to really talk to y'all brothers, man. I'm off track, brother. I got to get right now. I got to get right. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay. Do your thing, Jay. Do your thing, Steve.
All right, man. Peace, family. How y'all doing, man? This is Jamie at Sankofa 180 degrees. Hey, we back at y'all once again, right? Hey, today, hey, we got a banger, man. We got my man Cash on here.
What it do?
He got a banger for us, man. Hey, all you gotta do is buckle up, family, and pay attention, man. Hey, peace to you, what's going on, man?
Hey man, everything's good. Hey, y'all got to come in and join us before we start up. You know, we on before we go live about 15-20 minutes, man, and you know, that conversation was lit, man. It's always a pleasure to have Prince on here, and glad he's presenting. You know, so let's get it, man. Let's get it.
Hey, so I definitely got to introduce him. Hey, like I said, he got a banger, man. Hey, y'all, just you know, welcome a member of Sankofa 180 degrees, right?
Big dog.
Hey, this is Prince Cassius, man.
Controversial.
Hey, yes, sir, Mr. Controversial. All right, man. Hey, King, it's all you, man.
Hey, check it out.
And one more thing, last but not least, peace to the Queen Carrie.
Oh yeah,
peace to the Queen. All hail the Queen.
Right. Peace to the Queen Carrie. And another member, Sankofa.
You got to do it again, Carrie.
Another member of 180 degrees. Sankofa 180 degrees, right?
Go ahead, Carrie.
Peace.
I can't hear you. We can't hear you. I don't know why your mic ain't working. Let me see why. Go ahead, Prince. I'll get her on in just a second.
All right, Queen. You cutting in on my time now, Queen. All hail the Queen. No, just joking, Queen. I'm just joking. Hey, I just want to say peace and love to everybody, you know, and you know, I got a headbanger for y'all today. It is something that a lot of y'all probably ain't even into, probably ain't ever ventured into, probably have no idea about, but I think it's gonna open up your minds to a whole different ball game. And just stay open-minded, pay attention, listen. These are highly ranked. These are highly ranked individuals, highly respected individuals. These are not your run-of-the-mill neighbors, just random civilians. These people have worked for the government, have been embedded in the government, have did certain projects for the government, and this is just not no rumor video. This ain't a conspiracy video. This is truth. This is in your face. This is live. This is what it is. And you get to see up close and then in person what your government is really doing, what's really going on, and how our normal lives that we live a 9-to-5 working, sending kids to college ain't got shit to do with what these powers that be got in mind for us. So sit back, relax, get you some popcorn, coffee, tell them to tune in today because this is real, just going down today on Sankofa. All right, so
and get your pen and paper too.
Get your pen and paper, get ready. So you got questions, I'm gonna be ready for them. All right, so let's do it. Let's make it happen. All right. Steve.
So if you got to share your screen, there's a control down there. Oh, Jamie doing it?
Yes, sir.
That's cheating.
No way. Jamie is the man. Now he's the what do you call it? The engineer. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you're gonna have to learn it though.
you're gonna have to back up. Oh, sorry, we live.
Hey, no, see, no. What it is this here,
Yeah, we
King.
live.
So like
That's my
no,
dude.
no, it was kind of hard for the brother to be able to share this. So it was hard for me to do. So I'm gonna take care of that part for him.
Hey, Jamie,
Family.
hey, Jamie, you ain't got to apologize to nobody. Look, I'm back and black again. Let me calm down. I'm sorry.
You ain't got to apologize to that Dr. Duke.
Sorry, Jamie. I'm sorry. Go ahead and apologize.
Hey, we all good, King. Hey, listen, man. But yeah, I just wanted to hey, so
You a bully, man.
So make sure everybody mute, man, and I'm gonna play this video, man. It's a powerful video. We're not gonna be able to get through the whole video,
Right,
but
it's gonna be a part 2, but y'all gonna have to vote, or y'all gonna have to ask to see part 2. If this makes you, this gets your attention, if this is something that you really like, then we're gonna have to get people to ask for me to play part 2, and then if it's requested, I'll play part 2. All right, here we go.
If not, you can just send it to us.
There you go. And I'll definitely give y'all the link. He'll definitely give you the link after the movie, after the clip, after the show.
You're a bully, man.
I try not to be. I really don't. Woosah. What was that? What's going on over there?
You're something else.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. Only an alert, knowledgeable citizen can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense with our peaceful methods and goals, so that security and liberty may prosper together.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war?
Well, I love talking about ideas as opposed to people. I love the quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, and she said, small minds talk about people. Mediocre minds talk about events. Great minds talk about ideas. So let's talk about the idea of a Tesla car. That is actually an innovation of old technologies. The lithium-ion batteries are better than the lead acid or what have you. But you basically have a battery being plugged in to a coal-fired power grid. An actual Tesla, like Nikola Tesla had, that J.P. Morgan famously turned to Tesla and said, if we can't put a meter on it, it's not going to come out. These are big industrialists back then. So I call a Tesla actually a Musk. Because what Elon Musk has is an innovation of an old technology. You plug in a car to a grid. Now, what's the grid? The electric grid. Most people don't know this. It's being run mostly off fossil fuels.
Turn your microphone off, Prince.
So it feels good. So, that whole paradigm needs to change where we say, where are the big breakthroughs that need to happen? And those have not happened yet because they've been suppressed for alleged national security reasons, but in reality, it's because the national security state is being run by people with big vested industrial powers. The industrial fascists, just like in the 1800s, early 20th century, That same mindset is running the current economy, the current paradigm of technology. So I think if you look at something like SpaceX, it's using just a more refined version of what Werner von Braun invented for Adolf Hitler in World War II, called a rocket. Where you burn something, causes a propulsion, shoots it up like a Roman candle. It's not an invention. It's not a breakthrough. So all of those technologies look cool because they're repackaged with maybe some computerized systems. But the fundamental energy and propulsion system that's running the system is very old and really isn't going to fix the environmental crisis, or more importantly, or equally importantly, the macroeconomic crisis, where you have 48% of the world's population doesn't have indoor plumbing yet. So the poverty, the extreme poverty leads to revolutions and violence and radicalism and extremism. All of that and the biosphere collapse isn't going to be fixed by a plug-in electric car.
Can you pause it for 1 second, please?
Like Elon Musk, certainly know of these other technologies, but they also know that there have been very fierce and rather nasty things done to people.
Hey, Jamie, you got to pause it for a minute. Okay,
up to and
sweet.
including killing them if necessary.
Oh.
I mean, it's...
He'll come right back in a minute.
Meyer, who had a car that ran on water using a type of electrolysis, was killed. In fact, right before he collapsed, he says, "I've been poisoned," and collapsed.
It's a major breakthrough that will no doubt make motorists happy. And as Ralph Robinson explains, the Pentagon is also showing lots of interest in the project.
He has developed what's called a water fuel cell. It has taken the place of his old gas tank. The water fuel cell breaks down water molecules into oxygen and hydrogen. The hydrogen is used to run his dune buggy.
I don't care if you use rainwater, well water, city water, ocean water. If you don't have any fresh water, go ahead and use snow. If you don't have any snow available to you, they use salt water because there's no adverse effect to the fuel cell.
The Pentagon flew a lieutenant colonel in last week to look at Meyer's invention. There is talk of possibly using it in the Star Wars defense program and to run army tanks. Myers is currently perfecting a water fuel cell for cars. It will cost about $1,500. He says it won't need any maintenance, and you won't have to replace it.
And he had other technologies that already had national security orders on them. My group was going to acquire them. It's a very interesting story. He had a toroid, it looked like a donut, that had a national security order on it from the 80s that would run your house. My science advisor and team went to go see this after his heirs made it available for a group to buy. We, at that time, didn't have the resources to get it. An engineering group got it. They were all subsequently assassinated, all of them.
Assassinated.
That was up in Michigan. So people don't realize the kind of things that will be done to maintain the hegemony over a fossil fuel based or nuclear power based and utility based centralized energy generation system that benefits a very small elite. And we're talking hundreds of trillions of dollars. If you add up the value of all the oil, gas, coal, nuclear power, public utilities, etc.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100%.
Hey, Jamie, can you pause it?
Created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a year old or a few years old, we want to buy. Go to Carvana, enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our tech.
There you go.
All right, so basically what I want to just pause it for a second. I want you to understand what you just witnessed. Okay, so we have the technology to have been advanced in science beyond imagination. Anti-gravity, fusion, to where we would have every household in the whole world using undying energy source. Tesla invented that. They destroyed him. He basically made a machine that would pull oxidation out of the air, and with that oxidation out of our atmosphere, it created a electrical current, and it was a current that came from the air, so it never would have went away. They killed him. They took his secret and they destroyed it. The same thing with the white guy who invented the car that ran off of water. They destroyed him as well, and they killed the people who went and saw his fusion machine that also could calibrate energy, undying energy for everybody in the entire world. So what I'm trying to say is, where we're at in our society is only that because of the powers that be. Now, if we had powers that be who really truly cared about us, then they would share that technology. Okay, we wouldn't have to worry about poverty. We wouldn't worry about this and that. You mean to tell me we can get to the moon, but so many percentages of our population on Earth don't even have a sewage system? Come on now. All right, so you can push play, bro.
Hey, I thought it was a African that did that water thing.
Okay, so his was even better than the water thing. It was and I know exactly what you're talking about, but his machine, machine was way better than the water thing. It was beyond that. It was like some Wakanda shit. I mean, Wakanda stuff. And he also has been muted. You don't hear too much of him. You look him up, you'll see that Africa is one of the leading countries or continents in the run for artificial intelligence, for nuclear power, fusion power, car power, electrical cars, all of that. But they don't show that on TV. They have a whole. Africa even has a NASA project that they have over there as well. So they're on some other stuff. But again, we're not allowed to see that because way back in the day, and you can look at this too, the colonial times, they made a pact and a law that the blacks in the United States would not have the rights to connect with Africa or see how Africa is. So they would have that miscommunication amongst each other. Oh yeah, and you can look that up as well. There was a law written that the TVs and all the stuff that would be broadcasted over here would make it seem as if Africa was some savages in the back boonies in the jungle just running around with leaves on and all that. They don't show, like I've never seen it until Jamie brought it to my attention, the buildings and the beautiness and the richness of Africa. All I thought of was the boons too, you know. I remember that movie, Why the God's So Crazy, Why the God's Crazy. And I thought that was the funniest movie in the world. But it was a laugh at blacks and a laugh at Africa and its people all in one. So, you know, people praise Shaka Zulu. I hated that movie series because they broadcasted it on a non-cable channel and showed African women breasts. And the only reason they allowed that was because they tried to make a law and say that was a tribal thing. So it was allowed to show black women's breasts, which was the most degrading and most disgusting thing I'd ever seen white America do. So yeah. So you can push play.
So it ain't new news that people are, keeping things from us. But what I like what you did was you, hold up. What I like that you did was that you specified, the car and for the home to energize everything, man. Man, that would be cool for everybody. Low poverty, the macro society, right?
That's right.
Hey, Prince, mute your mic, Prince.
So they can do all this other stuff, man. So I really like the way that's put together, man. Thank you. Carrie, you want to say something? Oh, she can't. I don't know what's wrong with her voice thing. So, all right.
Well, yeah, I wanted to point out. I just wanted to point out, like, I feel what you're saying, but the real thing I want people to get from this is that the technology where we would be, the little stuff that we have, the stuff that we have in our homes, is nothing compared to what we would actually have, man. You would see a whole world of flying. Listen, I'll say like this: technology that Tesla had is the same technology that those pyramids can do. That the government knows That's how they moved those bricks. That's how they did so many things. They electrified the atmosphere. And with that, they were able to use some type of another technology with that to levitate these bricks, those bricks. See what I'm saying? Like the technology was used to cut it. And we all know that that came from somewhere else. But how did they move them? There's no signs of dragging. There's no trails. There's none of that. They pinpointed where they came from, but from the pyramids to where they came from, there's no trail, no line. You understand what I'm saying? To carry those big bricks, to drag those bricks, you'd have signs of phosphorus wood that has fossilized. You have drag marks. You have a whole trail leading from those pits to the pyramids, and there's none. There's mountains. There's high hills. There's how in the hell did they get them over a certain peak? Like I'm telling you, bro. So what I'm saying is they're holding back technology. They're holding scientists back to say that, okay, what we always thought, that's a lie. It goes beyond that. We're missing that missing link for scientists to know how to do the anti-gravity stuff. You know, they reverbed it when they. Okay, you go ahead and play the movie. Go ahead and play the movie.
So let me just say this. I'm sending you this video right now, Prince, and then I want you to reevaluate and then share with us during the week, man, your view on the pyramids, what you just shared, and then based off of this video that I'm gonna send you, and then let's see what you put together. Cool?
Sounds good to me, brother. Sounds good to me.
No Wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you.
It's a real good presentation, man.
Your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
Hundreds of trillions of dollars conservatively. And for that, you run into a big buzzsaw. So I think people, a lot of these industrialists that I've met, or people who are, quote, high tech, I say there is no high tech out there. Our civilization has no high technology yet, except in a classified project. The things that are the fundamental energy and power sources that would run a planet properly. So we're a level 1 civilization, peaceful, not destroying the environment. Those have been viciously suppressed for 100 years. And so I've often called this the lost century, where there's an entire century of lost evolution.
Do you hear that?
Do
you hear that?
Social development.
Lost century.
Economic development.
Lost century of technology. All of that. Evolution.
Corrupt, fascist, industrial interests. And it was like that in the late 1800s, early 20th century, the time of Nikola Tesla, and it's true of that today. That dynamic has not changed. And that's what we have to make. That's the big change that has to happen. One of the big changes. You know, it's one of the big ones. And that's why we have to do that. You know, now Elon Musk had a partner who co-founded PayPal with him, named Peter Thiel. And he wrote a book, From Zero to One, where he talks about this and mentions, I think in the book, he talks about that in 1964, you could fly from JFK to Paris in the same amount of time on a jet as you do now. So how is it from 1945 to now, there's nothing? The minds of humanity have come up with nothing?
Y'all heard that?
Think about it. Everyone stop for a minute and meditate on that for 1 second. That's just not possible. So this is why a very mainstream group called the Federation of American Scientists put out a research paper in 2010 that said there were over 5,000 patents that had been confiscated under national security orders, many of them dealing with energy. These are big macroeconomic issues where you have a few big powerhouses, multi-trillion-dollar consortia that are wanting to keep the status quo, and then they have the national security state or the patent office be their lackeys, their shills. And so this is a dynamic that I think has to change, and we have a plan to change that. But it's difficult because the big mistake everybody makes with these technologies, they think, oh, I'm going to build a better mousetrap, and that means that the world is going to be the path to my door. This is what every inventor I've met thinks. The flaw in their thinking is this: before the world finds out about it, Murder Incorporated, as I call it, is going to find a path to your door. and they're going to confiscate your device. And if you don't relent, they're going to confiscate you, and you'll be in prison or you'll be killed or whatever. So you have to find a strategy around these jackbooted thug fascists. I'm very blunt about this. I mean, let's not you can't put lipstick on this pig. That's who and what they are. And meanwhile, the earth is about to flip upside down. I mean, literally. I mean, we're doing so much biosphere damage. And that's one of the big pressing issues of our generation.
But we have the technology, bro. We have the stuff to fix it all. They don't care.
An old presidential briefing.
Say it again.
We have the technology to fix it all, to fix the overheating of the environment. We have the technology to stop all the coal from pumping into the atmosphere. We have the technology to just to heal the earth before we actually destroy it. And the powers that be don't give a damn. They have underground cities. They have everything that these movies sit here and tell us about. Like the one movie where it was the earthquake in California, and the guy had to get the family, and they had to get to Antarctica. And in Antarctica, the government had already built these huge boats. They called it the Arks. They had like 6 of them or something like that. And you had to pay billions of dollars, like millions, to get a ticket to be on that. And that's like right now, you know, they have this strategized plan to where if war does pop off, they don't give a damn. They don't care. They're going to be put away. They're going to be hidden in bunkers and let the smoke clear. And they're going to know who's going to run it when the smoke clears and how they're going to reestablish the shit. Man, these movies tell us all. We just don't be paying attention to it. Terminator, when he went in that bunker at the end of that, you know, and that's just like this shit now. Like the movies tell us the technology will destroy us. And these people, these powers that be, they want to see it. There's no money in peace. There's only money in war. You got
Hey,
war.
so my thing is this, man. Like check this out, right? Now, when you talking about they got technology to stop the earth from heating up. There is no technology that's gonna stop.
What I'm saying is the technology they have to stop it is to stop pumping for the oil. We don't need the oil is what I'm saying. We don't need the coal. We don't need that shit. We don't need it no more. Tesla been found out that we could have so much amount of energy that will never deplete. It will every home in the world would have had this energy source. We figured out how to make cars run off water. We don't need gas. I mean, people have figured out how to make it run off vegetable oil. So in that sense alone, we don't need the gas. But the powers that be are invested in these oils and in Saudi Arabia, they'll pay billions of dollars to make sure that stays. Look, if we found a way to get energy for everybody, man, what would Saudi Arabia be with all that oil? There would be a zero depletion for it. No one would need it. So they'd be poor. The money that they have, the collateral that they have on that oil, they got more oil in Saudi Arabia than you can possibly imagine. And it's just sitting there because they know it's got money on it. People gonna need it. But with the inventions, like the 5,000 and some odd inventions that they suppress, that they go and take, that they tell people if you say anything about, we'll kill you. What does that tell you? They don't want none of that. They want to be the puppet masters of the puppets, man, and that's what we are. We're blinded to the facts that our government has suppressed our technology and given us bits and pieces of cell phones and internet and 5G. Man, they've surpassed that. They surpassed that. They build these spaceships. They build these ships up in space right outside of our global system. You know, they got a space force. It's called Space Force. He's gonna tell you about that. He's gonna talk to you about all these things. The $273.2 trillion that these government ops, black ops projects are spending our tax money and don't answer for it. And no one knows where this money has went. No one knows where it's at. And they spent all these taxpayers' money. They've swindled $275.2 trillion from Americans in these projects for these space shit and UFOs and it's technology because it's real. Because we sit at home and we watch TV and we think that it's not happening, and we think that we're the only powers that be, the only intelligent life form, and that has to be the stupidest thought that anybody can think. If we are in a globe spinning in dark matter with other planets that are thousands of light years away from us, and we're the only beings here, come on, impossible. So, you know, the technology that we have was from them. All this stuff that we have as human beings, we got none of it for ourselves, except the Tesla inventions and the rest of them that they stole. And they got, like, Germany was the first one to get involved in the anti-gravity. They were the first ones that says in history that they found a UFO that crashed. So with that, they what you want to call they rebuild it in reverse. Reverse technology is what it's called. So what they'll do is they'll break down this UFO and then they'll rebuild it backwards, and they'll learn it. They'll learn how to, you know, how it works. So with that, when the war was over and they defeated Germany, our government went in and stole 12, I think it was 1,200 of these scientists who knew of this technology, who, I mean, you know, and they brought them to the United States. They gave them pardons. They gave them whatever that you do in war. And they said, we'll do that as long as you work for us and you give us this technology that Hitler had. And they did that. And we've had that technology since Germany war in Germany. It was said that when Germany had took these fleet of UFOs up to Antarctica, in Antarctica, they found an area up in Antarctica that was not icy. It was a cultivated area, grass and this and that. There's a military pilot named Byrd, Admiral Byrd, and he took the largest fleet of ships and military to Antarctica on an expedition. They said when they got there, spaceships came straight at them. And when they got back, they debriefed Mr. Byrd and told him he was not allowed to go on TV. He was not allowed to talk about it. And they silenced that man because he said in an interview that that's what happened, that they were encountered by UFOs.
Hey man, let me tell you something, man. Like Tesla, hey, he ain't invented nothing, man. He went to Africa and got that from Egypt, man. From Kemet. He ain't invented nothing, man. That man stole just like he's stealing just like the rest of them stealing.
You can't knock him for figuring it out. He figured out what those two pyramids were for. I could say that he did not.
It ain't like that. He wasn't the first one. He wasn't the first one to knew what the pyramids was for.
Well, who tell me who was the first one that they have documented papers on that talk about him having a machine or even the technology written down, or that he made that machine as well. Let me know that, and I will back up off Mr. Tesla.
He got all this shit out of Kemet.
I understand that, but who made it in Kemet? We don't know. We don't have that technology, no. But Mr. Tesla did. He went over there to look at the pyramids, and he figured it out. He figured it out that those pyramids were an antenna. They were like antennas, and they were set up all over the world. And he looked at that, and that's when he got his head together with his smart ass, and he figured it out. And he made a machine, and it did exactly what he knew the pyramids would do. Now, I'm not saying he invented it, but I'm saying the man figured out the technology. Something that the government don't want us to know about. But my whole point is he figured it out, bro. And when he figured it out, they didn't want us to know about it. It could change the whole way we live life. It could change the way we see life. Like, damn.
It sounds like to me, you know, based on the video, that that he figured out a way to get through those people that would cancel him out. Because that's what the guy brought up in the beginning. He said, these people, hold on a second. These people came up.
They got him, they killed him, he disappeared. No one knows what happened to Tesla, and his machine was destroyed, and his documentation was all vanished. No one knows what happened to it. Just like the man with the car, he disappeared. His technology vanished.
So what I'm talking about, we were talking about, you know, dude that put the Tesla stuff together. right? The second dude, right? Elon Musk, right? All I'm saying is based on the video, the guy that's standing there right on the video right now, he said that what we have to do is to figure out a way to get around the intrusions, the people that block it, right? Right, the government that blocks it, the people that block it, to make it through without dying, right? And all I'm saying is Elon Musk, based on the video, found a way to do that.
Okay, only thing Elon Musk did was get it to an electrical part of it and put it in the car. And you see now that other car companies are doing that now. Elon's getting ready to lose in that race because other car companies have better cars, hands-free cars at that. So Tesla, I work for Tesla, and I'm not impressed with Tesla. I've ridden in a Hummer that's electrical, way better inside interior. Tesla you're paying for the technology, you're paying for the computer. I put it together. I'm telling you, it's a freaking piece of crap. The inside of the car is badly put together. The parts are in boxes that are on a conveyor type belt with the car moving down. You're putting it piece by piece. The back piece is like the interior is plastic pieces that you pop down on there. The wood grain is like a cheap ass wood grain. It's plastic inside. Now the frame, 5-star, the strongest frame in the world. Tesla has that frame. You can roll it. You can jump off a bridge. You're not going to die in it. The safety part of it, the airbags, neck, leg, shoulders, knees, all of that, 5-star. But technology-wise, that's all you're getting. Quality-wise for a car, piece of shit. And I'm telling you straight up, it's a piece of crap. The buttons on all of it is just not worth it. So Tesla really hadn't done anything. And Tesla is just the money behind his engineers' brains. Let's get that understood too. Tesla just got money. That dude is not a smart, intelligent dude at all to figure those things out. He just got engineers who don't get props. He's just the front man who's got that bread. Like they said with PayPal, he became rich, and then he took it to the next level. And like I said, he just came. How he did it to be a billionaire is amazing, but he was not the brains to Tesla. His engineers were. I just want to put that out there.
And that happens in a lot. That happens in a lot of businesses and a lot of typical decisions in life. What I'm saying is, based on this video, they found a way around it, right?
Just in the torque, not the technology.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
But not the infusion. He just got it. The infusion is the technology we want. The infusion is the lasting energy source that everybody on the planet can use, and we don't have to drill for oil no more. We don't have to, drill for coal. That's what I'm saying. We can stop the gas. We don't need the gas. We can use water. That's what this whole presentation is about. This presentation is to inform you and whoever's watching the fact that we could be so advanced in where we're at as human beings. The worry, the stress of having to pay for gas, the worry and stress of having to, you understand what I'm saying? To worry about paying your electric bill. Those things could be gone. They could be done with. And we wouldn't have to worry about that. Now we can concentrate on hunger. Now we can concentrate on feeding these people. You understand what I'm saying? Like
but at that same time, King, you are cutting out a whole system, right? So listen, do you think that the fuel company, do you think that any of those companies is going to allow them to switch and take their livelihood? King, that's
my whole point. It's not their livelihood. It's not theirs though, Jamie. It's our livelihood. We own this life. This is our life, and they're holding us back with people who are smart and intelligent. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen, and I'm very passionate about this, and I don't mean to come off real hard, but I gotta say it this way. I have to say it this way. They are holding intelligent, brainiac people in society back to where we could have been stepped up our plate and been at a whole different place. I remember back in the 90s when we were watching 2001 Odyssey. I thought and that movie was made so that in 2001 we would be at a place in technology where we would be advanced. Back in the Future told us that. But where are we at in 2023? Not no goddamn where. We ain't stepped and did nothing. We just got in-home nice cell phones. That 5G just went up. I mean, come on now. It's 2023. So what I'm saying is they suppressing, like you just said, you think the bank is going to allow that? Why are we allowing them to allow that? Why are we allowing them to allow that?
I think it's because we're so dependent. We allowed ourselves, we became so dependent because of the brainwashing. Jamie got this other video, man. Hey, what's up, Eric? Hey, so Jamie got this other video, man, that it's already in play. I think it's in the third stage already, Jamie. Am I right?
No, they're done.
Yeah, they done with it. Okay. And then that really solidifies it. But what I'm hearing is, like Jamie brought in, okay, where does all this come from? Prince don't want to talk about that because he's specifying what's happening in right now in his passion, right? And I get that. So I'm gonna back up off of my questions because
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
What's going on?
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So I was saying, Jamie brought up a point, an origin of emphasis, right? An origin of where it came from. And then he was about to go into I think the decline of what you're talking about exactly, being oppressed, right? And that oppression and the sources where they're able to come out of originate from Kemet, right? And so but that's not the show. That's not the show you're putting on. And you specify that really clearly. I'm studying this stuff. Hold on. I'm studying this stuff and we're presenting this stuff. So, and it's good stuff, right? So, I think that the guy really, he said it, we have to find a loophole. And he said exactly what Prince is saying is you got to be, it's impossible for minds of Americans, minds of people in the world not to come up with a solution. It's impossible, right? It's impossible that it hasn't happened. But now we're being oppressed by it, right? Because they're not putting out the information, right? That's not new. But the guy back to the beginning again, he said, and the same thing, Prince is hoping for is that we find a motherfucking loophole, right? A loophole from that in prison thinking that we locked in, right? Go ahead. Unmute your mic, man. You can't help yourself.
I just would not say that it has anything to do with us. It is the fact that if this does not let a person know, and even you keep repeating it, and it just astounds me that you're saying it, and it just baffles me that when it comes out of your mouth, it's like it's normal, that's a normal thing to know that we are being oppressed like that, to know that we are being slaves, to know that we cannot really speak how we feel, to know that your constitution ain't jack because they're not living by it, that they've spent $200 and some odd trillion to make sure you don't get to see it, that you have this veil over your face. And how fair is that to us? How fair is that to us as a human race is what I'm speaking on. I could care less. Listen, this is my thing. Our technology and our advancement has came from Africa. It came from Kemet. It came from scholars of learning our astrology, learning mathematics, learning philosophy, learning all these things, watching nature. But what I'm saying is, then how is it possible that a power can stop us from advancing our mental consciousness and our technology to a point to where we are living lives as Jetsons were in the Jetsons? And I'm being straight up honest with you. That's what I'm saying.
Do you have the answer to that?
The answer to that is revolution. Yeah, that's the answer. There's no way that we're going to advance to get any greater, anything out of life. We're going to sit back. Okay, because if we don't do that, we're just going to sit back and watch our world destroyed. Inflation go up for what? Because
what does that revolution look like?
If we, what the revolution does not look like?
No. What I'm saying, what I asked you is, what does that passionate revolution look like to you?
A lot of death, a lot of people dying, and
what do we need to do?
There's nothing we can do. We have let the powers that be get too powerful. There's no way of stopping it now. We are linked in with the technology. What they have now is all about spying on us. There's nothing that they're doing that's helping us. All the stuff that we got, all the stuff that they're giving us, it's all just for honing in, for stealing information. If people would listen to that, if they would see that.
So we can't progress at all.
We're not going to, because of the simple fact that the way the thinking is, just like you said, the progression, it has died, just like you said. You don't see it. You don't see the future of that happening, of us being able to get past those powers that be. There won't be. Like he said, they'll kill for that. They will kill you. They will kill me to not let that happen. So what does that leave us? Where does that leave us as human beings? As idiots, as the idiocy era in life, that it stopped. Like he said, 40 years ago, our lives have stopped. Our lives stopped.
See, I disagree, man. I disagree. And it may be because
you just admitted it. You just admitted it. You just said that there's no way. There's no way that we can. Okay, if you disagree, you tell me, how do we get that technology then? How do we?
No, I don't see where I agree that. I was saying that this cat said it's impossible for us not to be able to think abroad, think above where these people want us to stay below. That's what I was saying. That's what.
So how do we advance though? We go underground and use these technologies and then spread it around. That's the only way I see it. That people who know these things, or people who know how to fix the cars, don't speak on it. That we secretly have a secret underground connection where we give it to the people on a secret level, and we get this technology, and that's how we do it. We sneak it in on our own government and use their technology that they should have been gave us against them. As simple as that.
Yeah, so what I believe is what I'm saying, what I'm disagreeing with is that, you know, I'm definitely progressing, right, as an individual, and I have a message for other people, and it's up to them if they progress, and a lot of people are progressing with us, right, with my ideal or the information that I gained and involved in progression. Now you're talking to me. You're talking about that passion of as a whole. I don't have that as a whole, right? I just don't have that because I have no force, influence anybody to do any other thing towards that progression. Right? There's a group of people. There's a group of people that are trying to progress, and I think.
How do you see your future as for your grandchildren? Then, how do you see their future? How do you see that? Yeah, me and you.
I can't do that, man. I can't do. What I can do is put the information that has been hidden out, like you're talking about, like what you're doing, and hope that it's still, man. That's the best I can do, right?
Hey, so let me say this, King. There's some people. There's people out here, man, that's telling us what to think, when to think, how to think, King. So we're being led the whole time, right? You know, we don't have a choice when we don't have a real choice, right? Because you got people that's deciding.
You don't have freedom.
They're just choosing what you choose from. You know what I'm saying? So this is, you know what I mean? So I have a video of this old KGB dude that is telling on how to what is it? What is that? What is that? It demoralized the country, right? And that is, and it's a cold video. It's only 13 minutes, man. Hey, I'm gonna put it out there, or you know, and the dude is gonna explain to you exactly how it happened, on what steps, on every step that it took to demoralize the United States. And so this is why we don't have, we can't think outside the box, because we are being told what to think. All I mean, from time, you know, from time immemorial, King. You've been told what to think. You've been led by the media, you know, music, everything that you can listen to that can influence you in some kind of way, King. You're being led the
So are
whole
you supposed
time.
to just sit there? So you mean to tell me, just like with the fight with you know, Sankofa getting the realness out and discussing about where you know, Kemet and Sudan and where all the original intelligent individuals and who gave all the technology to the world. You mean to tell me that all of that, knowing all of that, if you didn't do that, if you didn't reach out and try to tell the truth, then where would the youth be?
Hey, King, have you ever done this? This is a question to you, right? Have you ever like, listen, you told a person, like, listen, man, 2 times 1 is 3, right? If you say 2 times 1 is 3, right? You show them the whole facts of how this is true, right? Hey, you gotta mute your mic right quick, because I every time I say something, it's like bouncing back at me or something. Yeah, there you go. So if I tell you that 2 times 1 is 3, right? And I show you complete facts and proof of how 2 times 1 equals 3, all right? 9.5 people is going out of 10 ain't going for it. They ain't going for it. Right? If I could show you in your face right now how 2 times 1 equals 3, you ain't gonna buy it, man. Even if I show it to you, you're not gonna believe it. I can show it to you in your face, and you're not gonna believe it.
What?
Right? Unmute yourself. Go ahead.
So you mean to tell me that you have a format that tells me that 2 times 1 equals 3?
Yeah.
This ain't no hypothetical speaking. This is proof that 2 times 1 equals 3.
Right.
So
right.
This is not hypothetically speaking. This is real, true facts that you telling me. You could tell me 2 times 1. 2 times 1 equals 3.
Yes.
How is that possible?
Because you have 2, right? So just say, let's put it this way. If I have me and you, and then we times put Eric in on it, he stand over on the other side, right? How many people do you got? Don't mute yourself. So I put 2, and then we're gonna times it by 1. We're gonna add Eric.
How you gonna add Eric? Eric is not the one.
He's one. He's one.
No,
Listen. The problem is 2, so we gotta get 2 people times, and we gotta get another person. Boom, 1 times 1, right? Okay, now I want to know equal. We're gonna put an equal right there, and you tell me, what do you see?
2 times 1 equals what?
3.
2.
Because you got 2. Well, where did the 1 go there?
Because of multiplying.
No. Okay, I don't give a damn what you're doing to it.
You changed the format of it.
You're not subtracting. You're not subtracting, King. Only thing you're doing is timesing, and you're adding.
But that 1 does not represent another added person. That 1 represents something.
So what does it represent?
It represents that the x, which is multiply,
right,
times multiply 1. Multiply
right.
1. So 2.
1.
So 2 multiplied by 1 equals
3. No, because where did my 1 go? Where did my 1 go? You can't take my 1. What if I had 2? What if you got $2 and I got 1, and then you tell me, we're gonna put it together, and you tell me, okay, now we only got 2. Nah, man, where did my 1 go?
the two, like I told you, the one represents something totally different. So you two.
No, it's that. Okay, all right. So let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. 1 times 2 then.
It's 2.
No, huh? It can't be.
It's 2.
You can't take my 1, King.
I'm telling you what it's representing. It's saying, listen, the 1, the X is multiply that 1 times this 2. And if you multiply that 1 times 2, you get how many? 1, 2. You get 2.
Yeah. Where did my 1 go? You can't take my 1 though.
You keep making that 1 into a person. It's not a person. It's a representation, just like
you can't do that, King. You can't.
Okay. Let me ask you.
Because you're saying the 1 is not real. Then, but what you saying?
And neither is the heads of those individuals on those hieroglyphics. They're not.
I'm saying
animals.
no. Listen. So you saying that the 1 is not real?
So what was those heads that you told me represented? The jackal, the owl. I mean, the jackal, the dog. All of those representations are something else. They represent something else. They do not represent that person as itself, but that head represents.
It's the same. It's the same as 2 times 0. It's
right.
It's 2. It's got to be 2.
2 times 0. Okay, there you go. 2 times
0 is 2.
Right. The 0 is the factor. So you're timing it by nothing. Nothing. It says times this by nothing.
Right. And so what do you get?
0.
No, where did my damn 2 go? How are you taking my 2? How are you taking my 2?
You can't.
So how are you taking my 2? Where did my 2 go?
It went away because
where did you put my 2?
It didn't come because it couldn't cross over the barrier to the 0.
Well, shit. So then it's still there then. I mean, wait, it just disappears. My 2 just disappears. Is that what you're saying?
It had to because it couldn't.
If I had, listen to this then. So what I'm saying is this here. So if you got $2 million and I ain't got none, and then I tell you, okay, now you ain't got nothing now, right? Right? Hold on. We're gonna times it. We're gonna put it together. You got 2 million. I ain't got none. 2 times 0. We're gonna do the 2. We're gonna times it. You come with 2, and I come with 0, and you tell me that you ain't got nothing.
No, I'm saying that you ain't got nothing.
No, and no, because you ain't got nothing.
I got my 2 million. You didn't bring nothing to the table, so I ain't.
So you still got 2, right? So you still got 2, right? Right. So
but it ain't. Okay. But listen.
Right.
See that you like you someone like the government. Them words, you know what I'm saying?
No,
how you say right. So can I speak now? Let me speak my point. Let me speak my point on how you are just like these bankers and these people who suppress us. Let me tell you how I tell you that. Because see, you wanted me to give you something out of nothing. You made me step up to the table with $2 million. Now the $2 million wasn't going on the table until you brought your offer, and your offer was 0. So with your offer being 0, listen, can I listen, we timesing it. I got $2 million times you step into the table saying you want some of my 2 million. So what you gonna bring to the table? You ain't bringing
nothing.
Jack.
I brought nothing.
So what's on the table? So what's on the table?
What is on the table? What's on the table?
Nothing.
No, you got 2 million on the table.
But check this out. Now I'm gonna bring the 2.
And you gonna times yours by my 0. And you gonna tell me you got 0.
By your 1. I'm gonna times it by your 1. You bringing that 1 to the table now. You saying times your 2 million times that by my 1 million.
And then what we got?
Shit, we got to break off, dog. We got 2 million even. We got 2 million even. See, because we times it by your 1. So what's going on the table?
If you got 2 million and I got 1 million, and we times it, we put it together, we times it. What you say we got?
See, again, you're trying to change.
Because I want to come with you whenever we get rich, when we hit a lick, I want to split mine with you.
This is what
I want to split mine with you, because if you telling me that I got 1 million, we're gonna times our money, and you got 2 million, you gonna tell me that, okay, we put it together, now all we got is 2 million?
In actuality, we'll say this in your format, in your formula. We'll say this. This is how I explain.
So Jamie making extra 500.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna make this format like this so you can understand.
That's a point Jamie making, right? Am I right?
Hey, I'm just saying, King. Look, I don't give a damn how you put it.
You're not letting me put it. Y'all over talking me.
Jamie saying you put 300. You put 3,000. You put 3,000 on the table. and you put 2,000, you put 1,000, and we're gonna split it. We even. Then he made 100. He made 500.
Nah, that ain't how it is at all. This is how it go. This is how it go. So this is the formulation of times. Since you want to say that 2 times 1 equals 3, this is how we're gonna rock this.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I got 2 million. We're gonna make the times. We're gonna make the times is what I'm going to give. What I'm going.
No,
Jamie,
that ain't how you do math. Because you're making up something.
You gave me your format up.
Because you're making up something.
Your format. No, you give me your format. Now I'm giving you my formula of it. This is the formula of that, so you can understand it. I'm coming to the table with 2. You're asking for 1. You're asking for 1%. For me to give you.
Yeah, all right. I ain't asked you for nothing.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You brought 1 to the table. I got 2. You brought 1. So I'm gonna say 2 times your 1. I give you 1, and we'll be even on the table with you having $1 million and I have $1 million, and that equals 2. Hello.
Okay, so you cool with that, right?
I'm cool with that.
So you cool with coming with 2 and then leaving with 1. That's it.
Yeah, I can share that with you. I mean, I can share you. I give you $1 million.
And that's correct math, right?
Yeah, that's correct math. When you look at it that format, you got plus, minus, equals, subtract, divide. Come on now, Jamie.
I want to split. I want to split my money with you, King. Hey,
tell me out, King James.
Hey, Eric,
tell me out. Eric, James, tell me out now.
Tell me what you think, King.
You were talking about. I know when you solve for X in algebra. When you solve for X, you have to, whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other side. So if you add 1 on one side, you have to add 1 on the other to solve for X. But that's when I was talking algebra. But as far as if you're timesing 2 times, you said 0 or 1?
Either one. You could do 2 times 0 is going to be 2, or 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is going to be 3.
He basically said that 2 times 1 equals 3 is what he's trying to say in mathematics. That he's trying to say that the math is wrong. That 2 times 1 should equal 3. Somewhere in his mind, he's.
Hey, you got Carrie on the line, man. She a mathematician, and
there you go, Queen Carrie. Please help me out.
She ain't buying it. She ain't
buying the 1 plus, but she ain't buying the 3, is she?
She ain't buying
I'd like to add my 2 cents. Can you hear me?
Hey,
yeah, I can hear you.
Let me put a bug in Eric's ear real quick. You there, Eric?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, so me and Jamie was trying to get in touch with you so you can plug us in with your dude, man, and to for him to have a week or a session during the week or something, whatever works for him, and for you to do a presentation, man, if you would still.
I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so next week we got, and then we get back to Cash's presentation. But so we got next week is sold up. Maya is going to present something, and then we got the 30th open, and then the following week is the kids week, and then we open back up again for adult sharing.
Okay, let me look at my calendar right now for the 30th.
Okay. Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying? You know how this saying COVID. So I'm saying like this. My presentation is going to the field effects right now because
you got a real good presentation, Prince.
What I'm saying is the presentation has halted because I want to know how in the hell if your theory is correct, then what we just sitting back waiting to dot in, waiting to get blown up, waiting to what? What's the whole point of it all? If that's the case, if you saying that, if the technology, well, they ain't gonna let us do it, we all slaves, then what's the point, bro? Well, you getting up?
Hold on, let Eric give me this
getting up, going to work. You getting up, going to work, and all that, and all doing all this for what then? Just because you a slave, they're controlling you. What's the point? You sitting in front of that TV getting controlled.
Hold on, let me get this date set real quick. Let me get this date set real quick.
There you go. Yeah, I got to see his face.
Come on, Eric, what's the date, man? What you gonna say, man?
You said the 30th.
Can you do the 30th?
I can do the 30th. Yeah, I'm off that day.
Okay, we'd like you in for the 30th. So I'll get with you, man, and then I'll put your banner up on Sankofa and then 2 other
Yeah, man.
places.
Y'all need to touch bases later on. It's taking in my minutes on my presentation.
I told you you're a bully, man. and so I'll put it on Comedic Life, and I'll put it on Christians versus the conscious community. So
Okay.
I can just put it up there without a title, or I can put it up with a title. So you just let me know during the week.
Okay. All right, we'll get together. I got to work tomorrow, and I'm off for a few days, so I'll have time to rap to you.
Okay, cool, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, King.
Oh, I appreciate it as well. Yep, for sure.
All right, Cash, it's back on you, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I just want to know what Jamie's perspective, with him putting it in that perspective. You know, ain't no reason going on with the video there. Ain't no reason showing the world all the money and all the technology.
How come it ain't worth showing the hold on, let me just say that. How come it ain't worth showing the goddamn video, man, just because Jamie got an opinion? Just because Jamie got an opinion.
Rats in the cage. What it matter? What it matter to watch it?
Are you gonna give up that easy?
I'm not giving up. I'm saying I want to know what's the purpose of it if we ain't going nowhere. If we gonna stay like this, if we gonna stay a rat in the cage and just waiting to die, then what's the whole point then, man?
Hey, listen, man. What I'm saying is this, man. Like, I mean, I'm just telling you that I had a video that'll show you why and how we got to this point, right? To where we can't shake past the cage, right? So I understand I understand your question, but the thing is this: once you see this video, it's like I said, it's only 13 minutes long. Once you see the video, King, then you'll see, like, damn, okay, now I see. But now, what do we do from that point, right?
I say that now. That's how I feel now. What do we do at this point? I'm at that point where it's like, yes, I know all of this, yes, but there's no way of changing it. Like you said, there really is no way of changing it. To be serious, to be very frank about it, man. There really is.
There is a way to change it, King. But now the way that the dude explained it, because they're into this mind control and brainwashing type shit, right? So he said that it can be reversed, but it would take 15 years. 15 to 20 years before you would be able to get a generation to change that frame of mind, right? So I'm not saying that it can't be, but it'll take someone that's gonna have to be able to be the type of person that can get attention, man, that knows how to get people's attention. Right? Because otherwise, you're going to always have a rift between all these different religions and factions and groups and all that, man. But you got to get the young people's attention, because those are the ones that's going to keep pushing that forward, right, to the new generation. And the kids that they raise, and the kids that their kids raise, and then you come up with your whole other mindset, King. You know, I mean, that's according to how these people are doing mental warfare, literally mental warfare, where, I mean, he's saying that, you know, to the point where we so twisted, King, that we so he even went too far as telling us that.
Dude, hold on a second. Hey, Cash, just mute your mic until you get ready to talk, because it's sending feedback.
Yeah. So he was saying that shit, even to the point of fuck was he saying, man? To the point of you loving us loving snacks so much that we would never be prepared for an invasion. We would never be prepared for an invasion, because they got us off on so many different trails that that like he said, man, they could literally take you to a Russian concentration camp and you would not even believe that that's what you saw. He said this is how strong this brainwashing warfare that they got going. This how strong it is, and how motherfucking how like solid it is. Like it's like 100%. It's almost 100% where it's guaranteed to work. Oh yeah, man, it's deep, King. It's only 13 minutes. Hey, but that's how. I mean, that's the best I can answer it for you, King.
It's a pretty good video too. Hey, so you guys handle that part. Hey, Eric, can you answer your phone right now? Or are you on your phone?
Yeah, I'm on my phone right now.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you up right after we get done here, or I'll hit you up when if you got to get off early. I'll hit you up right when you get off.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm here. I'm off.
Okay,
This
is my presentation.
Somebody's volume went down, and maybe it's my phone, but I can barely hear y'all now.
Hey Prince, go ahead, King. You all. Hey, you probably because you know what. You might have to hang up, Eric.
Because I just called you. That's why.
He just called you. So if you
hang up and come back in.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my bad.
Hey, Cash.
Yeah.
Hey, it's on you, King. Go ahead.
All right, so we're gonna jump back into it. And he's just gonna inform y'all a little bit more stuff that it's important. Like I say, I think it's just informative. So just check it out. It's pretty good.
It is important, man. I like
it. Hey, real talk though. Hey, serious business. Hey, this is sharp, man. I like this. I really like this, King. This sharp right here, man.
Let's go. Roll them.
All right.
Roll them.
Document for Barack Obama. The first part of it are various government documents, and so one of my favorite ones is this National Reconnaissance Office one that leaked out that lists all the project code names. Now, when you do the briefing, you go, well, here are these. Dreamland. Here, Dreamland is literally listed on this document. It's a National Reconnaissance Office document. So, and then it has Cosmic Ops, Magi. That's the Majority Intelligence Committee Ops, Cosmic Ops, Royal Ops, all of these, and all these different squadrons. The Sally Corridor, Groom Lake, Dreamland, Ground Star, Blackjack Team. There's Blackjack Control is at Edwards. This is at Nellis, so-called Area 51. And it was a security alert because people were trying to get on the edge of the range and see it. But that's not important. It's the distribution. Most people don't realize that. And then we also include some of the disclosure project documents. Well, to be honest, 99.9% of the population of the world would benefit, way out there. The big issue is the people who would be the losers are going to be the people who are very in power. So the people who have all the power are a very small number of people who'd be the losers on that. And more importantly, the centralized power system, that's going to vanish. That's going to go the way of all flesh. Not only power in terms of energy generation, but political power, macroeconomic power, all that's going to change. So it's one of these things where we'll have a whole new world, which is wonderful. But if you're someone with $1 trillion oil field, it ain't wonderful. But those are the people who have outsized amounts of power. It's not democratic. So that's the main thing, is that it's got to happen. It should have happened 100 years ago, and now it's time.
President Trump made an effort to open up files. Actually, what I understand, what he said is he wanted every federal agency to release everything they had on UFOs, UAPs, flying saucers, however you want to put it. I don't think the Biden administration has the same goal. We're talking about two opposing trains of thought. I don't think we're going to see anything from the Biden administration, unfortunately. There's a lot of things that go on and the president does not have access to. If President Biden or even President Trump wanted to go to Area 51, he would have to get permission. It would probably not be denied, but he can't just get Air Force One. No, we're going to go to Area 51 and land. There's a lot of things. The bureaucrats control the secrets within the federal government. Very possibly, depending on their political leanings, that they may be more willing to give information to a current president or a former president. But it's not the president. It is the bureaucrats that control the security and the information within black programs. Even as the president of the United States, I don't believe you're in the position to overstep some of the security protocols that are in place to protect national security. And national security is sort of thrown into everything. It's really a crap statement, because they can say everything is national security. No, it's not. I mean, the existence or the amount of money you're spending on a weapons program, well, it's classified. Why? It's our money. It's our American taxpayer money. Well, why is it classified? Well, you need to know. Yeah, I need to know where you're spending my money, but they don't have to tell you, and there isn't any mechanism for you to pull it out of them.
We are in a society that has been, regardless of what scientists and engineers tell us, we are in a society that has been basically frozen in technology for about 100 years now. Since 1908, we are still using fossil fuels for our vehicles. That has been the case since 1908. That's insane. That's absolutely crazy. And all the technology that connects with real people on the ground basically has not moved forward very much. It's only moved forward very little bits. So this is an artificial situation. This technology, the technology that came out of Roswell, has largely been held back from us. And it is getting ready to burst forward now. It is getting ready to burst forward, regardless of what the people with the Tic Tacs do, where they're withholding all this stuff and keeping it for themselves. But other areas of technology that are also from Roswell, from 1947, this stuff is getting ready to burst forward. And it's going to be an amazing society that we're going to be going into in these next, I would say, next year or so. It's going to be an amazing society that we're going to go into.
The government has admitted that they are in possession of vehicles not of this world, and also that they have been seeing these UAPs or these UFOs for many, many years. Now, the reason why the government is talking about these UAPs and UFOs now is because they're getting ready to fund and fuel a lot of money into the Space Force.
On December 20th, 2019, the United States took a giant leap into the next era of military defense. Recognizing the threat to U.S. national interests, a new force was established to protect our freedom to access and operate in space, the United States Space Force. With a mission to keep the space domain secure, stable, and accessible, the United States Space Force will protect U.S. and allied interests in space and provide new and current space capabilities. But this can't be done alone, nor will it be.
So before it was like deny, deny, deny. Now all of a sudden we have UAPs, which are, these are aerial vehicles that we don't know exactly what they really are, but they know what they are. I think that the UAPs are really technologies that we've developed.
There's a whole fleet of them. This morning, a report that the government cannot explain those mysterious objects caught on video by the military. From an upside-down pyramid-like object hovering above a Navy destroyer, to cylindrical spheres disappearing into the ocean.
Splashed. Mark bearing and range.
Based off of alien vehicles that we are in possession of as admitted by them. So I think that they've been reverse engineering this technology for a very, very long time and have now perfected it to the point where when it appears in the sky, the general population thinks it might be an alien, but in actuality, it's technology developed by us. I like to call them ARVs, alien reproduction vehicles.
Now, ahead of the release of a declassified Pentagon report, the New York Times says these papers do little to clarify what the videos show. The New York Times reporting that intelligence officials are worried the videos show America's adversaries may be racing ahead of the U.S. in developing elite weapons technology.
Now, the thing behind this is that the government really needs to find another way to find money to fuel the military-industrial complex. We've gone through every single country, and we've pretty much dominated and brought democracy. And now, so what's happening is the war machine is running out. It's drying up. The money's getting dry. And when the money gets dry, you need a new reason to get the people on board to agree to allow you to use their money. And so what is it going to be? It's going to be the Space Force.
Most of the more than 120 incidents over the past 2 decades are not from the U.S. military or other advanced U.S. government technology.
Whoa, it's getting close.
The Times also reports the Pentagon has found no evidence that the phenomena are aliens.
There's a suppression of the news. The major media doesn't want to share with you the real truth of what's going on above our heads every single day. They continue to use fake UFO videos on a daily basis talking about the UAP phenomenon. It's ridiculous. We've actually caught them in a lie, showcasing what looks to be some kind of swarm of UFOs. But when you look at the footage that they show on national television, they're showing you what is a phone app, which showcases UFOs in the sky. But in fact, it's a simple app that you could download and film in the sky and make it appear that there's UFOs swarming everywhere. This goes along with the major media narrative of UFOs. They're everywhere, they're a threat, and they're coming for us. But in fact, they're showing us an app that is totally false. This is absolutely ridiculous. When the true evidence is coming from the public themselves, when we receive over 1,000 videos every year right at third phase of moon, we reach out to the major media saying, hey, take a look at this. The major media refuses to accept videos from the public. They only want to use the military threat narrative and these blurry videos when the public has much, much better evidence and the major media doesn't want to show it. Such as an incredible sighting of what people were saying that looks like a space station traversing across the moon.
Well, can you pause it for just a second? So I just got a question. I want to make sure that I'm hearing this right. So 3 parts real quick. The one part they were talking about that they can't tell if it's aliens or if it's the technology in the sky. And there's not enough evidence that it's not aliens either. So, and then the second one was this guy was saying that the people are on apps that can send in news clippings and stuff like that, which we see all the time, but it's a generated visual and not real. And then this guy right now is showing that it's real. Am I following correct is my question.
Yes, sir, you are. You basically in the beginning when he was talking about that, he was saying how the media is trying to basically make it downplay it, and they're using fake blurry videos of UFOs like they always have. You know what I'm saying? Our technology is so advanced now. We should be able to see clear videos, but the news and the government always showing these blurred ass visions, man. So what he was saying was civilians, regular people, they have great videos of it where you could actually see a UFO, where you could actually see the side, the lights. And when they take it to the news media refuses to use it. Can you understand?
But he's also, but they're also saying that there's apps that
yes,
can
the app that the news. He said
so,
that the news.
Hold on, let me finish real quick. And they're saying that there's apps that are creating false identifications, and they're saying that there's technology that gives us clear view, and there's a contradiction in between which one is real or not.
Yeah, the contradiction is that the news people do not want to use the clear ones.
They use the clear ones. They don't want to use the one. They don't want to use that. They don't want to use the ones that are really sightings.
They want to use the fake ones that the military gives them. And like we found out.
Yeah, so that's common knowledge. That's common knowledge. But what you're doing It's just showing visual evidence, man, and distinction. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that.
Whatever was captured was high in the stratosphere, some kind of experimental, again, exotic form of propulsion. Once we put the video out on Third Phase of the Moon, they were forced to admit again that this indeed was some kind of secret experimental program in regards to sniffing the atmosphere. Whatever it was, again, more videos exposing high exotic craft.
Well, I've actually had a lot of meetings with people who are initially very supportive, and then they get a visit. And they either are threatened or they're afraid, they realize what the ramifications are, and they back off. So this is why we sort of gave up on the political and the moneyed people and did it as a grassroots disclosure effort back many years ago. So that's the big problem, is how are you going to get this out? If you want to benefit the whole planet and the whole population of the planet, you can't be thinking you're going to do this through politicians who are innately going to be bought off or threatened. Because those are people who, this is what they do. They put their finger in the air and say, which way is the wind blowing? And that's the way they're going to go. So, and the public is going to have to decide if they want to do this themselves. This is why we took the whole disclosure project public. So that's what we're doing. I mean, what most people, they think that the US government builds stuff. They contract. It's called WFO, work for others. And in 1993, I was at the Wrigley Mansion in Phoenix. And Jordy Hormel, the Hormel meat family, had bought it. There was a covert group that had kind of taken over his operation. And I was there, and they wanted me to come to a meeting very late at night. And we're sitting around this big conference table at midnight with a bunch of suits. And this is in 1993, a couple months before I briefed the CIA director. And there was a man there. He says, look, if you
Get who gets you. eHarmony. Get started for free.
Staying on budget starts with having control over your money. And here's the card that will give you that control. Meet the NetSpend Prepaid MasterCard. There's no minimum balance, no late fees, and no interest fees, because this is not a credit card. NetSpend has earned a great rating on Trustpilot. Terry loves getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. This is control. This is NetSpend. Visit getnetspend.com to order your NetSpend card.
It should go like day after day. I gotta go.
Hey, Danny, pause it just for a second, will you?
Deliver your way and on your schedule with DoorDash. And earn more with new and more ways.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, Prince, I just wanted to say thank you. Man, what a great presentation I've seen so far. I wanted to jump in on the math thing with Jamie, but I did not. And you hang in there. You're a good person, and you share really, really intricate stuff that I really enjoy learning about. And I want to say thank you, but I got a splitting headache, and I'm going to get off. But I didn't want to get off without thanking you and saying, take care.
Hey, no problem. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Tell them about that. Put your G's up on that Pisces too.
Well, Pisces are they give 100%, man, and they're passionate and loving and kind and all those things, which makes us also vulnerable. And
to play the victim role.
I never said that.
Thank you, because we don't play the victim role.
That's it. So, well, we learn how to not to be the victim.
Right. We learn how to not to.
But because we give so much, and especially when we fall in love, and things that we can be hurt. And, I used to think, well, I'm not gonna care, you know, and all that. My mom used to say to me, you know what do you got to lose, man? Give it your all, and you might find, you know, that wondrous relationship. And I did. And that's what I did with Lo. And you know, I'm really thankful. And you'll do the same thing. But yeah, whatever. All right. Love you guys. I'll talk to you.
Hey, I ain't buying it. That's a Pisces thing. That's a humanistic thing, man. Get your G's up, goddammit.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. I really do.
Take care.
You made my day. Thank you.
Ways to dash. Now you can dash groceries, alcohol, and even pet supplies. New Ways to Dash means more ways to enjoy what you do and more ways to get paid. Sign up now to make the most of every dash. DoorDash.
If you want to deal with this issue of these technologies, the UFO issue, you don't need to talk to the president, the CIA director. They don't know anything, and they're not going to know anything. You should be talking to people like us. We're the ones who are running the WFO. We'll work for other, it's called, programs. And we're tied into certain, I'm quoting, orders of Jesuit priests that are working on the technology transfer. We have the supercomputers that back up the banking system, and where we can get a lot of money just from transactions where they're odd amounts. We're the one, and he went through this whole litany. And he started explaining this to me because he was basically trying to wave me off from going forward with this meeting with the director of the CIA. And it was when I realized that, you know, sort of the people who think that the government's running everything, and, you know, there's this top-down president, commander-in-chief, et cetera, but that system got decapitated in the 50s, mid to late 50s. Which is what Eisenhower warned about when he left office, when he said beware the military-industrial complex. So what took its place? Well, what took its place was this sort of hybrid entity, partially covert, unacknowledged government programs, but a big part of that is then outsourced to big corporations, covert contractors, and other organizations. So that's kind of what developed in the post-World War II era, and it still is how the operation runs.
So if someone was actually to go against the government and try to attempt to release this to the world, personally, I don't think it could be done because they don't put all their eggs in one basket. They don't follow the policy of single point failure. They have multiple repositories where they keep all this stuff. Absolutely, Los Alamos, Oak Ridge National Labs, MacDill Air Force Base, Edwards Air Force Base, the remote test site in Nevada, also known as Air Force Flight Test Center Detachment 3. That's the actual terminology for Groom Lake facility. So for someone to try to bust down the walls.
These were the folks who finally tried it, a few dozen running toward an entrance of Area 51, the secretive military.
It's not going to happen. You'd have to go to all these facilities, get into their vaults, then bring that out as a united coalition. Not one person couldn't do it. It would take a united coalition of acknowledged scientists to come forward with it. That's how it would happen.
How long will something stay classified? You know, when will we see it? And when we do see something, how old is it? Typically, if the federal government, you know, the bureaucrats, the spooks, the guys that handle and work in the classified environment, if they're going to release something, it's probably was built, flown, operated, and tested 20 years ago. So any new technology you see that the federal government is releasing, as far as maybe the B-21 radar or anything else, that's old technology. Holding and being responsible for security is a very, very powerful feeling. So if you're a security administrator and it's your job to maintain the security, you're in a real powerful position because you can destroy someone's career. They'll only release it if it's to their advantage. Other than that, I don't think the American public or the public in general is going to have any idea what we're up to, what the government's up to.
So the truth is, even Rumsfeld admitted the day before 9/11 There's 2.3 trillion with a T dollars unaccounted for in the Department of Defense budget. Probably now it's 8 or 10 trillion. Those go into these unacknowledged projects that are deep black. The Congress has no idea where it's going. The president has no idea where it's going. So, you know, the real issue is, you know, it's sort of a complete corrupt, unconstitutional ripoff. And, but nobody wants to take on that system because they're lethal, vicious people, so. And the truth of the matter is, if you do someone who, let's say you have a senior Department of Justice person to investigate this, they won't be told anything. They'll be told basically get lost. So by the definition, these projects are illegal and unconstitutional, and so they don't care about a subpoena. And they don't care about the chain of command, they don't care about the Constitution. They'll just say, buzz off, we're not gonna tell you anything. So that's actually how it runs. I mean, it's just, people have to totally redo their civics lesson that they learned in high school. Is not how this country runs anymore, and not since the late 50s, my opinion.
So before, when money would go black budget and people would go, well, where's these trillions and trillions of dollars going, and they had no answer, now they can say, look, there's these UAPs that are harassing our Marine ships and appearing over our nuclear installments. And so they're a threat to national security, they're a threat to global security. We need your money so that we can build space tech. We need spaceships, we need weapons in space, we need different types of weaponized satellites. And so now all of a sudden they found a new way to garner the support of the people of the world by building this space threat.
Since 1917, the Air Force Research Laboratory has been leading the discovery, development, and delivery of warfighting technologies for
1917
and cyberspace forces. Already on board, AFRL is continuing to provide the technology and resources necessary to help the United States Space Force build a comprehensive military advantage in space.
And so by building the space threat concept into mind, that fear, of course, we're going to say, take our money, apply all these trillions towards this defense. Don't worry about schooling and education, don't worry about health care, don't worry about retirement money. We need to protect our planet against alien invasion. And so that's what the drive is behind it. The mainstream media like CNN and Fox are showing these very strange, obscure, obfuscated images, very fuzzy radar images of UFOs with kind of, very staticky accounts from military personnel. And so what they're doing is they're dropping seeds. They're dropping seeds on the general population and getting them to believe that they're real, believe that they actually exist now, because they want to get that money out of us. They want to fund a space force. And so what they want to do is they want to keep it very obscure to where you can't fully exactly really see what it is, because they have something that they want you to see when they finally make that big push, potentially, in my theory, personally, this is my own theory, that they will, do like another Gulf of Tonkin incident where they faked an attack to go into the Vietnamese War, things like that. I think that there's this potential fake attack that's going to come, and and then and only then will you see a very clear image. And it'll be probably something that we developed ourselves, probably along the lines of a false flag where, they claim it's an alien attack, but it probably isn't really aliens. And the reason why I think this is because you look at the accounts of aliens over the millennia.
And if you look closely at the top left and right corners, you can see that objects, they appear to be some sort of flying crafts. The ships are dome-like with 3 trails coming out of the bottom, and UFO enthusiasts insist this is proof that flying saucers were present during the death of Jesus.
You go into ancient tablets, texts, scriptures, cylinder scrolls, and again now into the modern idiom where you have people seeing them on cell phones, recording them with HD cameras.
Va demasiado rápido, loco, no lo sé. Está yendo rapidazo, loco.
Look how good this man camera is.
And we have the better copy, better quality imagery of them. We can see them, even in places people have seen them with their own naked eye.
Is it going down or is it going? It looks like a spaceship.
What happens here is they don't want you to know that these beings have never threatened us. So far, I mean, as far as we know, in modern times, They haven't tried to eradicate us. They haven't tried to destroy us. They haven't
look at
come
that.
guns blazing to destroy our cities and kill the people. And so I really believe that they want to paint a different picture about these beings, a picture that they can control the image in our minds so that they can control the support, the fear, and also the money.
When it gets right in front of me, it just disappears. Disappears. Like gone.
To be clear, he's referring to this giant object as a Tic Tac, because he said it was shaped like one. Now, 3 other crew members with that pilot saw the same thing. Are these objects a national security concern?
Jeremy Corbell launched a video that made the media explode with excitement. A UFO, triangular-shaped craft that were captured off the coast of California by a Navy sailorman that wants to remain anonymous. From closer inspection by a debunker named Mick West, who did his own little mock-up, which he created the same effect that was captured by this Navy sailor.
This UFO video does not show a pyramid. There's a triangle shape, but that looks exactly like an effect caused by a bright light being out of focus and a night vision camera with a triangular iris like this one.
What we're seeing is a result of a bokeh lens. If you look inside the iris, it has a triangular trifecta shape. Anything projected off in the distance of the camera that would seem blurry would mimic the effect of a trifecta. This is what we're looking at. You notice the FAA lights blinking on the object itself, and people are claiming these are pyramidal shapes that are flying in the sky, where in fact all it is a distortion of the lens known as a bokeh effect. UFOs reported by FAA pilots have come in. We received audio from a ham radio operator who was able to intercept the American Airlines pilot. Actually explains to the tower control that something fast was in close proximity to the commercial airliner. He says it looks like a cruise missile.
We just had something go right over the top of us that, I hate to say this, looked like a long cylindrical object.
We obtained the audio from Jim Goodall and then shared it across the media platform. They refused to touch it. They thought it was a hoax. And then until 5 days later, they reveal it to the world. This is how the major media operates. They don't want to share you the truth, and when they got it, they suppress it. Very interesting indeed when they're pushing off CGI and late news when the news is already there.
It almost looked like a cruise missile type of thing, moving really fast.
The close encounter happened early Sunday afternoon while the American Airlines flight was passing over New Mexico en route to Arizona.
Have any targets up here? We just had something go right over the top of us.
The radio call was noticed by an airline radio enthusiast who says the call caught his attention because the pilot sounded very excited.
After the American Airlines reported the UFO in close proximity to the commercial airliner, we received paperwork the day after, leaked document from Southwest Airlines of what appears to be a notification to everybody and all pilots to report anything unusual that was happening in the sky. Later, we received confirmation from the military that indeed there was some kind of secret military testing going on. What are they experimenting on? Is it the Tic Tac or some high exotic form of meta-propulsion? Why is the major media picking up on these UFO videos that seem controversial? We have the Go Fast, the gimbal, the Tic Tac, which really doesn't give us much evidence of anything. All we're seeing is blurry images. Louis Elizondo says that this is basically the bottom of the barrel that the Pentagon has released. What's up with that? Why haven't they give us, the people, full disclosure of these videos? Pilot Fravor claims that he was within 50 feet of the Tic Tac itself, and insiders from the Pentagon also claim that they do have video of this event. This would basically blow the lid on everything if we could get crystal clear detail and the full effect from beginning and end of these so-called UFO videos. It seems like the major media and the Pentagon Congress seem to be tied in coordination with this disinformation effort to keep the UFO secrecy deep behind the shadows. There's above top secret access to the hidden technology behind disclosure. Is the world ready for it?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people are confused about how something like this could be structured. And they're always talking about, well, you know, what about China versus this country or Great Britain? It has nothing to do with that. So we think in terms of our high school civics lessons where there's the US, Canada, we're looking at geopolitical boundaries on the globe of the earth. The group that runs these classified projects has been for decades, at least since the 60s, transnational, meaning that they've had operatives in projects in Brazil or China or the old Soviet Union. And at that level of unacknowledged special access projects, many of them work together. So when people say, well, you know, is it just a US and UK or Five Eyes, the Five Eyes being the, you know, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, United States, Great Britain, spy, satellite and intelligence gathering and sharing consortium. I said, no, it isn't. It depends on the country and what assets they want to have and who they have on the ground who can actually be functional. For example, that CIA document talking about going to Argentina and Brazil, conducting fake alien abductions, that meant that the agency, the CIA, had to have assets to cooperate with that in those countries, right? So I think that people have to kind of forget their high school civics lessons and rethink what the geopolitical realities are when you're dealing with something at this scale.
But governments can't die. So we need to find other incentives for bureaucracy to adapt and improve. The technology revolution has transformed organizations across the private sector. But not ours, not fully, not yet. We are, as they say, tangled in our anchor chain. Our financial systems are decades old. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
Well, you don't just have $2, $3, $10 trillion vanish. There's a whole system in place, and it comes from many different budgets. And then a big part of the funding comes from private endeavors. So let's say you spin off a technology, such as the stuff we're using that we're calling high tech. Well, a lot of it was spun off, as Colonel Corso described, from R&D on some of the ET reverse engineering, extraterrestrial devices. But the companies that are allowed to have those and hand off to have people embedded in them who are part of this consortium. And therefore you can develop a $1 trillion company or a multi-$100 billion computer chip company or whatever, and some of that money also can feed into it. So it isn't just government, it's private and government together. So I call this a hybrid entity that's neither strictly government nor strictly private. And interestingly, from a secrecy point of view, as a private entity, corporate or citizen, penetrate these projects, it's top secret national security. Most of the work being done on this are private corporations, Northrop, Raytheon, the old E-Systems, EG&G, and they'll say, well, it's proprietary, you see? So if you come from the government, it's proprietary. If you come from corporate or civilian, it's top secret government. So they kind of wall it off, they play that game.
Releasing the information, not releasing the information on things that they've been flying, chasing our airplanes or submarines or naval ships and whatever. They're going to release the information on this stuff if it's to their advantage. As long as there's no advantage of releasing to the public, then they're going to keep it. They're going to keep it covered up.
People need to wake up to that fact. Wake up to the fact that we have this psychological operation, that now we have government officials that are part of this, that are working in black parts of the Pentagon. Black meaning unaccountable, unlimited funding, and don't have to answer to anyone.
A government source says there were no glitches, and the veteran Navy pilots are very credible.
As it gets in front of me, it just goes poof and it's gone. It's gone like that fast.
Carl Sagan said extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And if the crash retrievals are true that we've heard for so long now, where's the physical evidence? It's got to be within government labs, different facilities, universities. It sounds great on paper, but we need that physical evidence. Barring that physical evidence, we're not going to move this field forward. And if the crash retrievals are true, then all bets are off. If those stories are true, then they do have the debris, they do have the saucers, they do have the bodies, and they've been working on this for 60, 70, perhaps 80 years.
So whatever you can think of, whatever you can imagine as a technology or a possibility, whatever you can think of, it's already been done. It's not even a question anymore. And I'm talking about everything. Portal technology, teleportation, faster than light travel, FTL, all these things are now possible and reality.
And just turns abruptly and starts mirroring. So as I'm coming down, it starts coming up.
So it's mimicking your moves.
Yeah, it was aware we were there.
And I really do believe that these ARVs, I call them, or they call them UAPs, that have been buzzing our military ships out there, our Marine ships in the ocean and so forth, and coming by bases, are made by us. I believe that they know exactly, who made them. We made them. I think that they are alien reproduction vehicles that they've taken reverse engineered technology from previous down UFOs and basically put them together, created our own technologies that we have now are flying around in. They've already declassified the stealth bomber and all these other craft during the 9/11. This is the stuff that's behind the scenes for the next level of war. And these craft most likely can fly in the atmosphere and also probably go into outer atmosphere as well. And so I believe that they are actually ours, and they're painting the picture as if they're not ours, but I really do believe that they're made by private corporations in America or somewhere on this planet. And the reason why they use private corporations is because if you use a government organization, then we can do a Freedom of Information Act and we can find out what's going on. But when you go into a private corporation and you subcontract it out, then the private corporation doesn't have to disclose any information.
You hear that?
To the general
You hear that?
public.
Yeah.
So these are some of the tapes from Asilomar, the 1995 gathering of the original whistleblowers and Disclosure Project witnesses. But at that time, if you look at it, it says Starlight, Project Starlight. So if you look at the documents from the Clinton library, where the Associated Press sued the Clinton administration to get them, it was the project, it was just called the Starlight Coalition. And there's a letter that we wrote, all of us gathered there, including some friends of the president who were there, recommending that he declassify the subject, disclose the UFO issue, etc. So this was about 1.5 years after I briefed R. James Woolsey, the CIA director for President Clinton. So by then, we decided, let's get together a number and try to find some new people. So we had Marina Popovich from the old Soviet Union, who was a cosmonaut, who had had a sighting. Her husband, Pavel Popovich, would be like our Neil Armstrong. We had, of course, Edgar Mitchell was there as my guest. It was one of his early...
All well-known, intelligent,
and then we had some people,
well-respected people,
materials, a whole bunch of different people. And it was called, Project Starlight back then. Because at that time, it was still a kind of unofficial civilian effort to get the president. And then later, after this, in '97, the Congress to take the leadership on this. So we wouldn't have to do it. But they wouldn't, so we ended up doing the Disclosure Project in 2001.
I want to emphasize that all of these witnesses each could speak for probably anywhere from 2 to 5 hours about what they have witnessed. We were trying to give you a snapshot. We have another 400 of these witnesses. I have carried this burden for 8 years. I'm now giving it to you, the American people and the people of the world, to take it forward.
But this was the very first gathering of these Disclosure Project witnesses, military, CIA, and those tapes were stolen from me by the man I trusted to film. The people who did the filming colluded with a Clinton administration guy who was sort of a operative to take all those films and recordings and not give them to us. And so they vanished for 26 years. I get a letter a couple weeks ago, and the entire collection was buried in the backyard in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, by this Clinton guy who called my friend up and said, look, I'm getting older, and he was starting to have some, maybe Alzheimer's, I'm not sure. And so he says, I have these, I'm gonna send them to you. So then all of a sudden, this guy says, look, I think Dr. Greer would want to have these. So he writes me this letter, and he says, I have all the Asilomar tapes from 1995. So we just received those, and we're digitizing them, trying to get them on hard drives from the old big boxy VHS tapes. But a lot of people don't know that history of how it went from the CE5 contact and the event that happened in Florida in '92 to the intelligence community finding out what we were doing, and others, the friendlies and the people who were, I call them the white hats and the black hats. And then they came wanting to, influence and stop what we were doing with CE5 contact, the bad actors. But there were others who were friendly. So that's how the whole disclosure project evolved, was out of the CE5 contact that happened, because they knew it was real. I mean, it's the thing that people tease me the most about.
So basically what he did, he got a group and he could contact alien in alien spaceships and basically
Hey, pause it for a minute.
and tried to shut it down.
Pause it for a minute when you talk.
I can't pause it.
I know.
But like I say, he was just he was in this group called C5, and C5 is full contact. And basically what he did, he taught a group, which the military was using this technique too. And basically you get in a circle and you meditate, and the whole group is meditating together. They're focusing on these beings in space. They're projecting to these beings that they're here, what spot they're in, and then they take this flashlight and they flash it into the atmosphere. And in 5 to 10 minutes later, you see these beings coming. So when the government knew he was doing that and showing people that were a part of his I would want to say group of scientists who wanted to know, and people around the world who contact this man to go and do this C5 experience. They go to his campsite and they sit around and he teaches them the meditation, and then he goes through the whole procedure and they get to see the same thing that he's seeing. And well, the government found out about that shit and they went and shut him down. They told him, you can't be doing this. Well, it's not against the law to do that. Well, that's when they came up with this law that you cannot have contact with a being from another planet. So they say there isn't any, but they made a law that you cannot have contact with them. You feel me? So, go ahead.
Hey, hold on just a second. I got to take Judy up to get her medicine, man. Her ride didn't come, so I got to run her up there real quick, and then I'll get right back on. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, bet. All right.
It's great to be able to go anywhere. When we're doing CE5 in really remote areas, sometimes you get into situations where you want to be really out, where there's not going to be a lot of interference from humans.
Hey, you can
so
pause.
I prefer really remote sites if I can.
Yeah, we got a pretty good hour in it, I want to say, man, on part one. That was pretty much basics. He's going into now about the C5 and how he did the technology with that. And then he talks about more of the government. And I mean, it's got like a whole hour or something left if anybody wants to. When I present again, I'll do part 2 of it, but you got to wait for that. So.
Right, man. All right. Yeah. That sounds good, man. Hey, so hey, listen, man. I'm gonna tell you, King. This is really, really interesting. Really, really interesting, man. I mean, it's really deep, man. Yeah, it's deep, man. Hey, Eric, what you think, man, so far, King?
All right, let me mute myself. All right, here I am. All right. Well, like I said, I had never heard of the guy, this particular guy, but I've heard some talk before about UFOs and connections with beings from other places. The verdict is out. For a long time, I had never just assumed that there is no other life forms or something of that nature outside of our reach, if that makes sense. But actually, I haven't done any extensive research on UFOs or things of that nature. Area 51, I've heard him talk about that, stuff like that. But But I don't know. I've also heard people say that those are used as distractions to take the attention off of things that are going on this planet. And I know for me, like I say, anything that I don't know is always interesting. Anything that I'm not experienced with is interesting. That's why I'm so into the books I'm into, because just learning and studying and stuff that I have. Actually, astrophysics too, man. I'm studying astrophysics as well. And Neil deGrasse, I've been following him for years, and he got a few pieces on that, on just talk about other life beings, and if in fact they came here. The first, one of the things he said was that their technology would have to be extremely advanced, much more than ours, to even make it here. But then I guess the next question would be if they have to come this far to usurp energy or anything from here, then they've probably used a lot of energy to get here. So if they got here, hey, they coming here to help out, let them come to help. Hell, if they want the planet and they got more power than you, ain't shit you can do about it anyway. If that was the case. So, and as long as they've been talking about this, if there was some force that was going to dominate and take over, it's already happened, or it ain't going to happen. That's just my thinking on it. But I'm just too engulfed with what's going on this planet and in our visible universe, even with the telescopes that we have. It's amazing. Just, I check out NASA website a lot and just check out some of the stuff that they have there. It's interesting. And just to know that they can measure heat and other things just by the color of different stars and shit like that is amazing. So I'm into that. I like that. But if I saw something, man, and I wasn't high, I would definitely say, be like, God damn, I know we were younger, man. We had these things coming around, but at the end of the war, they were airplanes. Little small twin engine planes with lights going around them in circles, advertising shit. But boy, you couldn't tell us back when we were 7, 8, 9 years old that we didn't see no damn UFO.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I don't discount anything, any unknown thing that I'm not aware of. I can't. There's no way to discount that.
Right. Hey,
Yeah.
so I'm familiar. I'm familiar with Billy Carson. I've heard him. I heard him on a few.
You talking the black dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've checked him. I've heard him speak before, man, and I know that he advocates a lot on the Anunnaki and stuff like that, man. And I don't knock it, man. I mean, I don't, I know a little bit about it, man. Not a whole lot. I know that it comes, a lot of it has to do with a lot of Sumerian texts, you know what I mean? Sumerian and maybe even a little
Akkadian, I think Akkadian, Sumerian, and probably even, I wouldn't say Babylonian, but I think Akkadian maybe, but Sumerian for sure.
Yeah, so I know that's a lot of, that's where a lot of that stuff come from, man. So I'm not, so I understand it. I've heard a lot of brothers. You ever heard of the Nuwapian Nation?
Oh yeah.
The Nuwapians?
Oh sure. Oh yeah.
Hey, Prince, have you heard of Nuwapians?
I have, and I looked into your the Doji
Dogon.
Yes,
the Dogon tribe.
That was deep. That was deep.
Yeah, well, that's
that one hit me hard, bro. Like that one kind of cracked my skull for real. I stepped back from them right quick, bro. That's more deep than me trying to get people to understand that it really ain't about the aliens. They want to say aliens to get your mind off the technology, Mr. Brother King James. And that's what I wanted to point out to you. From that video, I don't want people to get the alien part. Forget all that. Let's talk about the 9 UFOs that are in Arizona buried underneath the ground. Let's talk about the mothership that they have. Let's talk about the technology that they got from it. Let's talk about how the man said when they give us these technologies, that's 20 years past due from us having it. So what we got ain't nothing compared to what they got. Just like what the dude Blair said, what he said? He said, whatever you can think of, they have done it. It has been done. Time speed. And when you said these aliens take a long time to get from one planet to get to here, that's when you have the quantum physics comes into play, and the breaking of time, and the messing with
It's called time travel.
You know, messing with the time
travel continuum. Yes, right. Neil deGrasse talks about that, but those are theories. And here's again, like I said before, no, their technology would have to be so advanced.
You said that those are theories. What about CERN then? If that's a theory, then what is CERN? What is the HAARP machine? If these are not things that you are familiar with, I advise you to look into.
CERN is an acronym for something else, or is it a
CERN is this CERN
it
is
an acronym. It is an acronym for something else.
It is, but it is a
what is it?
It's a place where 7 nations have come together and put money to make this it's like I want to say a Stargate. And what they do is they take the atom and they run it really fast around this circle, and they break it down to them trying to find the God particle. And what they found out is, even when they found the God particle, that particle that they didn't understand, underneath that particle is another particle, and underneath that particle is another particle. So the explanation of it is like saying you have a fly and you look at a fly's eye. Well, when you go microscopic on a fly's eye, it has these spikes, and there's thousands of them. And when you go down on that, the spike is embedded in this in one of these circles of this fly's eye, and down in there microscopically is bacteria that grows on that fly's eye down at the base of it. So what I'm saying is, life is an infinite thing. Like Jamie says, we're never gonna die, because energy doesn't die. You know, it just molds and it shifts, and you're never gonna die. So what I'm saying is, it could have taken that long to get here. You know,
that's the same thing that I was just talking about. When you say energy so you can't destroy, it can't be destroyed, nor does it die, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here's when we go back to what I was telling you, 2 times 1. If energy cannot be destroyed or it doesn't die, then there is no way that 2 times 1 is not 3, King.
It goes into physics again, Lorenz, and I mean Jamie. And if you're not familiar with that, which I am not, I cannot answer that question for you. But all I know is that physics won't allow certain things, and that is in that physics part of it, like you say, you have multiply, subtract, divide, all those things, like King James said. You know, and I'm not too familiar with all that, so I can't say that I can give you an answer to that and say, hey, this is why that works or why it ain't. All I can say is that there's formulas to everything. And with those formulas, you know, there's still a missing piece of the puzzle that even our scientists haven't been able to crack, you know, but our government has.
You and I, what we could do is we can add our money together. We can subtract our money. We can divide our money. But you telling me that we can't multiply our money?
Yes, in a structured formula. So 2 times 1, you only multiplying it by 1. So that is going to give you 2. If you multiply it by 2, then that'll give you 4. If you multiply that 2 by 3, that'll give you 6.
No. But my question is, if the conservation of energy is energy can't be destroyed, energy doesn't die. So in that logic, if you have 2 and then you times it by 1, tell me what happens to the 1, King.
Okay, so M equals MC squared. M equals MC squared. MC squared.
We ain't talking about no damn M and no damn C.
It can't be 3, and it won't make the energy. It has to be the formula to make it. It's like making bleach. It's like making detergent. It's like making wood. It has to have a formula, bro.
No, because you know why? Because they can't explain that, King.
Yes, they are explaining. I'm explaining it to you. It's like God.
There's no
It's
way
like
you
God's
can explain
diagram.
that.
You cannot. You can't go around that diagram. There's no
if you're
defacing
using,
that. There's no.
if you're,
I'm going to put this where this should be. It doesn't work like that. It's a
you're
formula,
using
bro.
science,
It's just a formula.
If you're using
That's
science,
the only way I can explain it to you. It's a formula.
Listen,
The sun goes up,
if you're using science, King, and you telling me that energy can't be destroyed, nor does it die, so it can't just disappear, King.
It didn't disappear because it never got put into the formula. It never got put into the formula.
Yeah, well, then you can't do the problem without you can't do the problem, King. You can't do 2 times blank.
Exactly, because it don't work.
And
2
get an
times
answer.
1 works.
You can't.
2 times
You can't
0
do that.
don't.
So you have to have the other number. That's a number. Number is one a number?
King James, can you help me explain this?
Is one a number? The question is,
one's a number.
So if 1 is a number, 2 is a number, 2 times that 1, what you're saying is 2. So I'm saying, according to science, where did that 1 go?
No, I think the question should be, what value does the X hold? X has always been, as far as I know, in algebra, the unknown. And when we solve for that,
the X don't all that's just a damn symbol. That's just telling you that's giving you an instruction. That's an instruction, right?
Correct.
Okay, so if it's
that's
an instruction, if the X is an instruction, right? So okay, so it's telling you what you have to do to complete this sentence. Right? It's what you have to do to complete this sentence, right?
Exactly.
So if we have 2 people and then times is telling us, okay, what we giving us a direction to time.
Okay, how about this?
And then we have
go ahead. If I said to you, say the words say the word 2. How many times can you, if y'all say the word 2 one time, what would you say? If I ask you, say the word 2 one time, what would you say? What would your answer be?
That you're telling me to say a word one time.
No, I'll give you an actual word. The command was, the direct which was, say the word 2 one time.
2.
How many times did you say it?
One time.
2 times 1 is 2.
My man.
Okay, so now let me say it like this. Right? So that's just so let's go here. 2 times 0 is 2.
See, when you
so what happens? So what I'm saying is, because I'm trying to figure out, man, if you're saying it is 0, I want you to explain to me, where did the 2 go?
Because if I ask you to say the number 2 no times, how many times would you have said it?
You wouldn't say it.
I wouldn't say
so
it.
Again, it has no value when you don't follow the command. Now, once you got something, now in order for you to follow that command of times, you have to actually do that action, add that number to itself, because you want to do that number or do that word twice or 3 times or 4 times. So if you said it 4 times, if you said the word 2 times, but I said, say the word 2 4 times, you say 2, 2, 2, 2. How many times you say it?
All right, then. So what if I tell you? Well, so let's switch it. What if I tell you, say the word 1 2 times?
1 times
I would
2.
say
1.
I would say 1 1.
So, but I'm saying, but what happened to the other 1 though, King? Because
I
that's
just said them
the whole
both.
problem. No, you
I
didn't.
said them both.
No, you
I
didn't.
just
No,
said
you
them.
didn't. No, you didn't. No,
You
you
said
didn't.
say
You missed
one.
one. You missed one. You
You
missed
said
one.
one two times.
You said say one, two
Yeah,
times.
but
One.
that's what I'm saying. So when you use that logic, you're automatically cutting out that one. Because listen, you're automatically taking that one away, man. What I'm trying to figure out is if the one is already there, it's present, King, and then you have two on the other side of it, right? I don't care what you do to it, other than if you subtract it. The only way that should change is if you subtract it, King, or divide it.
Or what about adding it?
Okay, you can add it, right?
You can add it, and then
Right.
it's gonna increase the value. Now
You
you're
can
saying
add
you
times it. Hold on, but the times it is also increasing the value. So
by the same amount.
By the same amount, yes, sir.
It's increasing the value
by the same amount.
Right, but if but by it's increasing the value by no, because you can't, you still you're taking a number and then you're making it disappear. You can't do
No,
that.
we're
If you have a number that's present, it's present. You can't take it, you can't move it. You
Only
have
if,
another
only
number.
if,
You have
only
another.
if it fits the formula. Only if
only
it
way,
fits the
the only
formula.
way
You
that you
cancel
would
out.
move it. Listen, the only way you would move it is if you were subtracting, King. Other than that, you're doing
we're
nothing
not
but
moving it. We're not moving it.
all you're doing is adding. So
But we're not
2
moving
times
anything. We're
5,
adding
you're
a formula.
adding you're adding 5 2 times. So that's all you're doing. So however you look at it, you're still adding. When you're doing times, whether you're doing times or you're doing or you're doing plus.
I see your point, but
You see
again,
what I'm saying? So no matter how you look at it, those two sections of the math spectrum, you're adding. I don't care how you look at it. The only time that number should change is if you're subtracting, King.
So what you're saying is
that number could never change unless you're subtracting it. Other than that, that number cannot move, King. It should never move.
So you're saying that the multiplication or times multiplication and addition are the same.
They're two of the same.
Okay,
I see what you're saying. It's just, but it's just in a bigger. It's on a larger scale. It's just that's all it is. It's just a larger scale because all you're doing is 2 times 5. You're taking 2. You're taking 5 and you're adding another 5 to it. That's 10. That's all you're doing. So you're just doing it on a larger scale instead of just doing it one by one. That's all. That's all that is.
But if you just by that same principle, based on that, 2 and 5 are two different numbers, right? One's a prime and one's a composite. Based on that theory of 5 plus 5 equal to 10, 1 and 2 couldn't equal 3.
Yeah, why?
Because it couldn't.
Listen to the logic. If 2, because the 2 don't change, you ain't take the 2 nowhere. Why you didn't take the? Why you didn't take away the 2?
You only wanted to create a value of it one time. That's why you multiplied it by the 1. If you wanted to increase the value, you have to multiply it by a higher number. It's only going to give you the value of itself when you multiply it by itself. Period. That's all it's ever going to give you, ever.
Hey, don't read that, King. I just say what it say. What it say, King?
It says that x equals the amount added by the amount set. By the amount set. X.
Okay, so what is the set? So what is the set amount?
Okay, if you say 1 times 3 equals what? You are timesing the 1 or the 3
times.
3 times. 3 times.
Okay, but what happens to the 1, King? That's the question. That's the question. You're not answering the question. If those numbers are solid, they don't move unless you're subtracting. So now you have to deal with these numbers. You can't make one disappear just because you want it to disappear. It has to make sense. So make that 1. Well, now keep that 1. Make sure you don't take that 1 nowhere.
Okay, all right. So we'll do the 0. We'll do 0 times 1. Okay, so that formula right there, the 0 shut out the 1. It shut it out.
So what you saying to me, King, is if Eric got 1 pistol I come and I got no pistol. Me and Eric got no pistol. That what you saying?
Y'all can't talk. No, y'all can't talk because you ain't got no pistols. There ain't nothing to discuss. You came to the table with nothing. How you gonna talk about something?
But so what you saying? So the problem can't be complete then. That what you're saying?
The problem can't be completed because you ain't come with nothing to the table.
Oh no, the problem is complete. The completion is, like you say, realizing that one has one and the other person has none. Only that won't change unless the other person gets one, or you able to create another one out of what you already have.
So are these okay? So wait a minute then. So in that case, these numbers. So so if we're timesing the numbers, then these numbers are enemies. They're separate. But if we're adding the numbers,
totally
separate. These are numbers that get along. These numbers are they can be done.
Numbers do a lot. Well, numbers do a lot of things. They serve various purposes. In that case, I believe the one number is describing. The one number is describing what action you want to take with the other number involved. That makes sense.
Yes, it does.
What I'm trying to say is this. Let's do it this way.
If
me, you, and Prince is sitting here, and then we say we're gonna times this by 1 and add right
we
there.
Ain't finna say that. We ain't finna say
why you can't do that.
Well, I tell you what.
Why you can't, okay, so why you can't do?
Not the right formula to use.
All right, then why you can't
say
that?
It's not the right formula.
I got a question.
All right,
I would say if this is functional, operable, then I would say any banking transaction you do, you come up every time. You come up every time. Because I know the financial institutions don't want to see you coming, because every time you deposit $2, you may want $3 when you go back to get your money. So based on your mathematics, you a bad man when it comes to that math. But when I tell you this, you ain't got a bank in America gonna play that game with you. You go deposit $100 in there and think you get more than what you deposit in there because you deposit in there.
No.
Shit.
Two today, one back.
You're okay. Look, because here's the thing. You can tell a bank the same thing. He can tell a bank, look, I came and put my $100 in y'all bank. Y'all got 500 million. So once I put my 100 with y'all 500 million, we got 500 million and one.
No, we don't.
He said
we don't. You got 1 million.
You still got that same $100. You still got that same $100, and you still got that money.
$100. My bad.
Shit.
Probably gonna take a quarter for the consultation.
Well, shit. Right. After having to solve that one, they gonna tax his ass. See, you ain't got that no more. You just spent too much time on this phone with that.
Look, he opened no account. Now he ain't got enough money.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, look. Hey, look. I don't care what nobody say. Hey, if you doing a scientific, if it's scientific, King, I don't give. Hey, if you talking about science, hey, listen. If you talking about science, King. Hey, look. Look, I'm telling you, science don't disagree with me, man. I'm telling you, because there's no way that if energy, if they say if that's true, if energy don't die or can't be destroyed, then you can't make that one disappear, King.
Okay, here it is. Here's another thing then. So you're saying you go and put $2 in the gas tank in your car. You only do that one time. You only do it one time.
King James, don't do it.
Let me finish. I bet you don't have $3 worth of gas in your car.
That's because they got the math twisted, King. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The math is twisted because listen, man.
Here's the thing.
Because energy don't if energy don't die and it can't be destroyed, then 2 times 0, that 2 is still alive. You can't kill the 2 because this one don't got nothing.
Here's what I've heard from African principle. 1 + 1 = 3.
Wow.
Well, now that one right there is a little. That now you got to explain that.
1 + 1 = 3.
Why? Because of the plus.
Man plus the woman. When they come together, they come together and create a child. They become 3. That's the Trinity. That's mathematics. I understand that mathematics.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
you know what? And I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm not even. I wouldn't even try to argue that. Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't try to argue that. But just listen to what I'm saying though to you, King. If you saying that energy can't be destroyed and energy can't die, then 2 times 0 is not 0. Scientifically, King.
Okay, same thing. If you started off with 2, or you said, I got $2, but I'm going to put none in my gas tank.
What you gonna have?
What energy did you transfer to the gas tank?
No, we ain't talking about how much. No, we talking about what you got left. We ain't talking about. We ain't talking about.
No, you gonna.
I love y'all, boy. If y'all still talking about,
you still have a 2 left. Yeah, you still had a 2 left.
Damn
y'all
right,
still
you gonna
talking
have
about
that
this
2
when I
left.
get back.
Yeah.
Damn right. If you don't put nothing in there, and you got $2 to put in the gas tank, and then you and you if you got $2 to put in your gas tank, but you decide to put 0 into the gas tank, you still gonna have that $2. Now,
But but what does the gas tank have?
We talking about what
0,
you got left.
because you just said you was transferring energy. No, we didn't say that, but that was the whole point. In doing mathematics is to move energy from one spot to another, or to understand how energy moves. So we measuring energy. That's what we do a lot of times. Mathematics comes from measuring energy and measuring space and things like that. So what transaction happened? The 0 represents no transaction. Nothing. The 2 is still there.
And the 2 represents what?
2.
So does it represent the transaction?
No, 2 was already the positive already there. It was the constant already there.
So
that
wait
was
a
a
minute. constant. So is 0 a positive or a negative?
It depends on how you're using it.
Okay. Wait a minute. How do you use it that it becomes a positive?
If you saying, for instance, if you counting starting at 0, if you counting, like let's say you count years and you start first 100 years, it's called that's 0. That's the first 0 century. Then that century happened, but when you count it, you don't count 1 until you get to 99, the next 100 day, 100 year. Then you got you in your first century. You did. Now you got 99 years. You got that 0 represents the first. It's still there, but it's still just based on measurement. You say 0 to 99 to the 100 is the 0 spot. Then the first one would be from 1 century on to the second one. Makes sense? But that's how they measure the time too.
Hold on. Okay, and then how is it negative?
How is negative?
How would it be negative?
When you want 0 to represent a transaction, when you want 0 to represent movement, when you want 0 to represent a value, then it's negative.
Listen, man. Listen, if you have 0, scientifically, what is 0? What is 0 energy if you have 0? It ain't no. It's just
the absence of.
There's no minus. There's no minus. There's no plus. It's just
there's no the absence of either or.
It's empty space, right? Empty space.
Right. I got you.
And then when you have the 2 right there, I don't care how you look at it. It don't equal 0. That equals that 2 is still energy. It's still there.
Okay, let me read what it says here. 0 is an important number, even though it represents a quantity of nothing. To summarize, 0 is a number.
Right. It is
a number. Now, if it's called a number, it's a number between negative numbers and positive numbers. It is necessary as a placeholder in whole numbers and decimal numbers. It represents a place with no amount or null value. Like you said, it don't have a positive or a negative.
Right.
But it can be represented as a negative when you are trying to measure something.
No, when you want to cheat, when you want to cheat the math,
Well, if you want to measure, what
you can
about
use it. See, because that's why I said when you want to trick the math, that's how they do it, right?
what about when you measuring for a house, or you measuring like for if you need the right measurement for your house to get these corners to match, then you may need that zero. You know what I'm saying? It may be represented to help you get the proper measurement. So it has a value
It's a
at
number.
certain points.
It's a number. So
That's right. Yeah.
It's considered a number.
Yeah.
So this is what I said. Then listen. What I'm saying is energy, King. Even if you didn't, even if it wasn't considered a number, it's still right. It's still empty space. It's void. Then you have a 2 left. That you can't tell me that and an empty space equals an empty space when you have 2 there. So you're saying that the 2 just died or was destroyed. Well, it can't be if it's energy. There's no way it can be. And so this is this is what I'm saying to you. Now, yeah, the way we were taught, of course, 2 times 1 is definitely 2, right? All day long, right?
Okay.
All right, that's the way we were taught. But
so maybe we're talking about we're looking at 2 different things. Then I think we're looking at energy, and then we're looking at numbers as it relates to measuring time or distance or something like that. Okay, because energy, because what we also have to understand about energy is that it transforms. Energy is not always in the same form. So if we're saying that
I agree,
dark energy or certain energy, and this is something they're talking about now too, is that dark matter. What is dark matter? So energy that don't have a description yet. So if energy changes forms, the question then becomes: Can energy be null? Can energy be null? Can it be either positive or negative?
well, of course, it could be positive and negative. Yeah, it could be positive and negative.
So no. Energy in itself, if it's energy, is non. Can it be null, meaning that it doesn't have a negative charge or positive charge?
In order for you to get energy, you have to have both, right?
Well, getting it ain't the problem if it's already there. But we already described it being and coming in maybe different forms, maybe.
Okay, but if it's there, but okay, so but if you're saying that energy is there, I understand what you're saying. It's there. It's there,
Yeah,
right?
it's there.
But I mean,
does it have the capacity to when it needs to be null? Be null and not either be moving forward or backwards.
No.
It doesn't.
No, I think energy is gonna always move forward. Right?
Okay.
I mean, of course, there's negative energy. I'm not saying, but I think that's something else, King. I'm talking about.
Well, because you got magnets that move energy in 2 different directions. You already have it. That Earth does that. Earth has a magnetic field that deals with energy and transmits energies in different directions based on other elements. So again, energy could be activated or deactivated probably by certain elements.
Yeah, but my question is about the energy I mean, not question, but my thing was, we know, I'm not like a scientist. I mean, I'm right now, I'm out of my element right now,
Okay.
right? Right. I'm just keeping it real, right? But I'm just saying that we do know that energy can't be destroyed. We do know that energy don't die. We know that, right?
Right.
So I mean, all the other stuff, what energy do or don't. I mean, I'm not sure, King. I mean, I'm not really sure. I imagine that energy could probably do whatever energy wants to, whatever energy is designed to do, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's about the best I can get it on that. But I'm just saying, it's like when it comes to science and energy and math, and in mathematics, King. Hey,
Okay, but look,
hey, I could probably make a case for this, King. Right now, I was really just sparking the,
conversation.
yeah, really, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, but I could probably make a case for that.
But see, because here's the thing. I mean, it's not non-debatable, but when we talk about energy in physics, energy is the capacity for doing work. So energy is activated. It may kinetic energy, thermal energy, electrical energy, chemical, nuclear, and other various forms. Is really energy is pretty much heat. And heat processing, doing something. It's an action. So when we refer that to a number, I think that number, if the zero was created to create no action. So if you're saying if the zero represents zero action, and all the rest of the numbers represent an action, positive numbers, we ain't even getting to algebra, because when we put that little minus by, now it's a negative action. But it's an action, right? So if we just keep it straight mathematics, straight regular math, we would say that two actions, or an action of two, not times itself, not times 5, but timing zero action. What is the sum of the action? And that's why the sum wouldn't be a 2, because we're not asking about what happened with the 2. The 2 was where it was. But what we want to know is what happens when you take that action, that energy, and ask it to do nothing.
Right. What happens to the energy itself?
It stays what it is. It stays what it is, but it cannot show a different value other than the zero.
Why? How's the zero
because
override? How does a nothing?
Because the answer is not about the question anymore.
How does a nothing come from something?
The answer is not about the question. The answer is about what you get when you tweak or modify the question. So the question being the number 2, you want to modify it. You want to say, hey, if I take this 2 and I multiply it by nothing, what will be the answer to that problem?
So what you're saying is, at this point right here, what you're doing is this is the only time that you do minus when you do multiplication. That's what you're saying. You take away instead because
it depends on the character that follows the number you want to multiply. I think that depends on the value of the number, because it obviously is going to change. If you keep adding numbers, you won't get the same answer. So
if you add
each number you multiply it to is going to have its own unique answer. Not, and if you keep going, you're not going to have the same answer to each one. You won't ever do it. So you multiply times 0, you're going to get 0. Multiply times 1, you're going to get itself. Because you only said it. If you said 2 0 times, how many times did you say it? Didn't say it none. If you say the word 2 1 time, how many times did you say it? You said it once. You timing, how many times did you say it? If you say 2 times, how many times you said it? I said it twice. So let's add those times that you said it. Then that's the math. 2, 2, 4. Okay. So again, if you times 2 times 19, you're not going to get the same answer if you did it for 18. So because the variable change, the value of the number you want to multiply to 2 or times to 2 is going to change. It's going to increase.
So at some point, it seems like you're adding some kind of value to 0. Because
no.
Because you're adding some kind of energy to 0 at some point. Because listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
Because listen to this. If you got two positive, you got two two energy sources.
Right.
Right. And then you want to times that energy source by those two energy sources is going to times by no energy source. So it's just no energy source. So what you have left, what only thing that you have is you have two energy sources.
But that zero will still have no value. The zero will still be a no.
The zero is nothing.
Yeah, it's still gonna have nothing. Yeah, that's right.
The zero is nothing. So
that's right.
So what I'm saying is this: you can't add. So this is why I said you can't when you times and you see, because now when you add a one.
But you're not adding a one. You multiply. You timing a one.
So I was saying when you time, okay. So say, all right. So you say 2 times 1. That's what we're talking about. 2 times. So you got 2 times 0. So you got 2 times 0 equals 0. But then when you add the 1, now you got 2. 3 times 2 times 1 now equals 2.
Yes, because you only made the command for it to add itself once.
So to add
multiplication is telling you to add the number the amount of times that the number on the right of it is asking you to do it.
But we talking about the conservation of energy.
Oh, well, see, that's two different things. The energy deals with heat. Number is a form of measurement. You can measure
the same thing. The same thing.
You can use numbers to measure heat, but can you use heat to measure numbers?
Can you use heat to measure numbers?
Yeah.
You can use heat to get your numbers. So in order for you to get the numbers, you have to have the heat first. You can't get the numbers without the heat.
No, the heat will be first.
Right.
The heat will be first.
Yeah. So
you had to create some numbers to identify and measure the heat.
Your numbers ain't gonna mean nothing until we get some heat.
They didn't. And if the sun went here, you want me counting shit. Right. So that's mathematics. You had to understand the sun, the heat first. Then you were able to put some numbers to that to give some kind of measurement on how hot it is. You put the numbers, and we created the numbers to justify to measure stuff. The numbers were used to measure stuff. Yeah, measure time, measure space. Yeah, that's what the numbers are used for. But again, the heat was first. The energy was first. And so when you try to turn energy into a number, you can't do it because energy predates numbers. Energy predates numbers. But best we can do is try to use numbers to measure what we say is heat, measure time, measure space. And that's what we use with numbers. And we have to use it. And we have to, in order to do that, was awesome way we did it. It created 0 through 9. And then double numbers and all that kind of stuff. But it was interesting how you do it. And it took it from their hands and their feet.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I get it from your hands and your feet. And your toes. 10 fingers, 10 toes. That's what you had. So they had to use that. They had to use those they used those to start to deal with measurements of heat. So when we talking about measuring energy, in order for us to understand it, I think we have to do it in such a way that it makes sense to the human brain. But I get like I said, I read that when anything like if you put two atoms together, there's going to be a reaction, something's going to happen. You put, they're going to, or two cells together.
It's going to equal out to be 3.
Yeah, they'll come together, but they'll reproduce. And that's why we get to say, that's why they probably said that even in humans, 1 + 1 can equal 3 or equals 3. And that's when the two people come together. But other than that, I don't know no other way to measure it in my mind. Because again, it would seem like you would be off if you tried to measure for a house if you don't take into consideration that zero, because that 0 to that 1 inch is not 1 inch until you get to the 1.
But what I'm saying is you take it. So what the people is doing is taking the 0, you taking the 0 and you taking the 1 and you making those both a negative instead of leaving them at what. That's what people are doing. Instead, you're saying two times 0, you taking that and people are putting a value on it.
On the 0,
to where some kind of way they're putting a value on it to where it's equaling out to be 0, right? Just like the same thing with 2 plus 1, right? What you're doing is you're taking that 1 and you're putting a negative on it and you're snatching it away, right?
Okay.
And you're saying that nope, that's equals 2. No, man, you can't take the 1 away, King. The 1 has to stay. You cannot you just can't sit here and make the 1 disappear because it doesn't fit in your, in the mathematics that you've been taught. You can't just take it, make. So that's just saying that you're making that 1 a negative when it's actually a positive number. It's 1, right? I mean, it might be
see, so in the mathematical equation, 2 represents something different than 1. In that case, the symbol in between those numbers represent an action. What action do you want to take? So I think when you're looking at it from trying to measure something, again, we're looking at numbers, you want to take 2 inches and you want to measure off 1 time.
No, listen.
Because I'm saying,
but there you go again. You're doing that again, right?
Because numbers, remember I said numbers represent measurement.
Yeah, but just because you use the number don't mean that the number disappears. I mean,
No,
yeah,
it
you
didn't
use the
disappear.
number. Yeah, that's what you're doing because.
So what happens when you say 2 times 4?
Then you're gonna have.
What's the answer?
So you'll have to have 4 2 times.
How much? What's 2? What is it? So what's the answer?
4 2 times is 8.
So you just said 8. What happened to the 2 and the 4?
So we took the 2 because the 2 told you to make 2 out of to make the 4 2 times.
Same thing with the 1. Same thing 2 times. That's the same action. You did the same thing. But see, your 2 ain't there no more, or your 4. It became 8. So what happened to the 2 and the 4?
I'm talking about, but see, that's that right there. You can't argue that.
Well,
right.
wait a minute. No. You got to make that make sense.
No, because
make that make sense to me.
Because listen to this though.
You say the 1 when we said 2.
Because if we start off, if we start out right, see, because that's why it's twisted. Because if you
it ain't.
You got 1 times 1, they say is 1. When it's got to be 2.
Why does it have to be 2?
Because you got you got 2 ones.
No,
so
that's
1 and that's 2. And so what you're saying is
you're not following directions.
They just
you're not following directions. They didn't tell you to add the 2 ones together. They told you to.
That's what you're doing. That's all you're doing, and that's all you're doing when you add the 2 4s.
Add, right,
hold on, right. You said we wasn't adding, but yeah, we is adding because we added the 2, right? So we is adding. You damn right we added, right? Right. So I said it's 2, right? If we adding, it's 2 because that's all we're doing. We're just adding on a bigger scale on the time.
You can't add. You adding 2 to 1 and getting 2.
Huh?
You adding 2 plus 1 and getting 2.
2 plus 1. No, 2 plus 1. You're gonna get 3.
Okay, and also
2 times
1.
you're gonna get 3.
Yeah, because if that's the case, what happens when you do 2 times 4? What happens to the 4 and the 2? It becomes 8. Same thing. The 1 cancels, is gone because you only said do nothing with the 2, but to do it 1 time.
I mean, that's the same thing with 1 times 3. That's gonna be 4. We ain't got the 1 or the 3. We ain't got the 1 or the 3. It changed into a whole other number. It went into the 4, right?
1 times 3 is 3.
1 times 3 is 4. So well, listen. So we ain't got the 1 or the 3 in that, right? Both of them ain't in neither one of them.
I would love to see you. I would love to see you convince your bank of that. I would love to see that. Convince your financial institution of that one real quick for me, and let me know how it goes.
Because we already so far into the math game that no, you're not gonna change nobody's mind on that, and you're gonna.
Well, just use your fingers. Anything. That's just as simple as use your fingers.
Yeah, right. If I got 2 and I got times 1, I don't give a damn how you look at it. What you gonna end up with is 3.
Yeah, you got 3 fingers up there, but
That's
you're
what
adding.
you end up, because you can't. Now, what you gonna do? Chop my goddamn finger off? Now, how you gonna make my finger disappear? Now make that disappear, King. I want to see you make that. Do that problem.
Okay. Here it is. Right here.
Look, I got 3 right here. Now you make that 1 disappear, and now do the problem.
It didn't disappear.
It ain't gonna disappear.
In multiplication, it didn't disappear. It just took the value of the other thing, the greater value, and the greater value of the 2 and the 1 is a 2. That's all.
No, man, because you're not gonna just take my 1. You ain't gonna keep taking my 1, man. You ain't gonna keep taking my 1. Now you always taking my 1. Now I came to the table with 1. Now you're not gonna keep taking my 1, man, and then tell me we got 2. No, man, you just had 2. I got 1. That means we got 3, King. We don't have 2. Okay, listen.
Again, if you can convince your bank, you're gonna be paid. I'm telling you. You're gonna be paid. Convince your bank. Madam, you ain't gotta go that far. Next time you go to Burger King, convince them of that one. And they're gonna take the calculator out and put all that stuff together. Convince it and say, look, I gave you $2.
Hey, listen, and
I gave you enough.
And I'm gonna show it to him. And I'm gonna show it. And I'm gonna show it to him too. I sure gonna show it to him. I'm like, look here, man. If I put my $2 down here, now you put that piece of paper down there right there, and just say that piece of paper equal nothing, right? Now look here. Now look. Now when we get done and looking at this, here, when we don't shit move.
Right.
This is when we get done. We still got 2 right there. I don't give a damn what you say. Okay, but this is what you
got to do. You got to tell them, I got $2, but I'm gonna give you 0 for that cheeseburger.
I ain't trying to buy nothing. Look here, I ain't trying to buy that, right? Look, I'm saying, so if you bring your $2,000, and I bring my $1,000, and we gonna say, okay, now, goddamn it, we're gonna times this. So what this is, you gonna say, well, 2 times 1 is 2, and I'm gonna say, no, nigga, you got 2 times 1. Now you tell me if we equal up with 2, who got that 1? Who got that 1?
You got the
1. No. You said that.
You got the 1 and I got the 2.
No. Listen, you got 2,000, and I got 1,000.
Right.
I tell you, we're gonna times this 2 times 1, and you tell me, okay. So if you say 2,000 times 1,000 is 2,000.
Right.
2,000 times 1,000
Oh, you didn't say 1,000. It'll be 2,000 times one. The zeros have value.
Okay.
You can't say 2,000 times 1,000.
What? The one don't have a value?
They don't. The one has a value too. One has a, but when you add
All right.
zeros,
So we can do the 2 to 1. All right. I got $2 and you got $1. You can't, and we're gonna say, all right. So let's times this up. 2 times 1 is what?
2.
Okay. So
because how much? So at the end of the problem, how much do I still? How much do I got in my pocket? And how much do you have in your pocket?
You still gonna have your 2.
No, I'm gonna have my 1. You said I had 1 this time, and you said you had 2.
Okay, I got $2. You got $1.
Right.
We're gonna times it.
Right.
2 times 1 is. This is what we're looking at. 2 times 1. This is what you got your $1. I got my $2.
Right.
Okay. Nah. $2 times $1 is $2.
Okay, because what are the $2? The 2 is in your pocket and the 1 is in my pocket.
Yeah, we coming together though. We putting this together. We put it on the table.
If we put it on the table, we doing addition.
We put it okay. So what's the why you can't do 3 times 1? I mean 2 times 1.
Because here's the thing. You got the 2 in your pocket. I have the 1 in mine. Not until you say, let's add these, will we change the value of all the money. So other than that, at the end, you can times it all you want to. It don't change the value what's in your pocket.
So me and you, this is why I said, listen to me. This is what I said. So me and you, we can add our money.
You can add it. You can add it.
Can we subtract our money?
You can subtract your money, and you mean once you add it? Yeah, you can subtract it. If you have a value, you can subtract from it.
Can me and you, me and you come together and subtract our money, like as a problem. 5 take away 4. Can we?
Okay, listen. Yes, we can, because you just said we came together, we put our money together, we added our money. So then you ask, could you subtract it? Hell yeah, you can subtract it once you add it together. But if you don't add it together, you ain't got shit to subtract.
Okay, so can we divide our money?
Our money, sure.
Yeah,
you can.
Okay,
our money,
but we can't. But we can't multiply our money though.
You sure can, but the value is not going to be the same.
So so let's multiply some money right quick.
Okay.
All right. So
2 times 1. Yep, we can do that. We can start
there. Right. That's what I'm saying. So let's try. Let's. All right. So okay. So now what's that? Hey, look. Hey, let's close out, man, and then we Hey, Eric, man. I like messing with you, man. Hey, this what's up, man. You and the cold thing is you'll go in with me too. All right. Hey, hold on. Hey, peace, family. Hey, look. This my man. Hey, this my man Eric. Hey, family. Don't forget. Every first Sunday of the month, we have a children's book read. Okay. Every Sunday, every first Sunday of the month, it's we having a children, reading African books, African real real events, real people, you know what I mean, true stories of real, but they're children books though. Really nice books, man. And free of charge. It don't cost you nothing, man. We just want you to participate. Get your kids together, get the grandkids, cousins, nieces, nephews, get them all together, man, and come on in, and you can win a free book, man. And all we ask is that you read, the child reads on the next available slot, and this just encouraging a little reading for the kids, man. And you know, I don't know if they're doing it where you guys are, but I know they're definitely taking the African history out of the schools
Oh
down here.
yeah.
You know,
Okay.
and so it's up to us, man, to really put that together, man, and put our history, our real true history out there, man, for the kids to really know who they are, where they came from, man, instead of, because see, it's gonna get really, really different out here, family. And I just want y'all to know, man, that we doing this. We ain't asking for no donations. We ain't asking for no cash apps or no PayPal or nothing like that. You know, this is all just from, you know, just because, you know, we just trying to give back. And you know, we just want you to like, share, man, and comment, man. That's all. You know, we ain't asked for nothing. And like I said, man, we doing this for the children, the kids, man. Pay attention. You know, we get on here, we get to, you know, have us fun, man. We have a lot of fun on here. You
Oh
know what
yeah.
I mean?
Oh
And
yeah.
then, you know, and it ain't no one-sided thing, man. You can come in and you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. You know what I mean? And we're gonna listen, you know what I mean? And it ain't about ain't nobody judging nobody here, man. We don't do that, man. Now we may, you know, judge the information, but we ain't judging nobody personally, man. Now, you know, information is different, man. You know, and it's just a little, you know, intellectual sparring, man. And you
Oh
know,
yeah.
I know I'm just learning, man. I'm just trying to figure it out, man, trying to get it together. You know what I
We
mean?
all are, man.
And so I just want to share what I know, man. And Eric is on here, man. And he's well read, man, and good brother, man. And he's gonna do a nice presentation for us or on the 30th. Um, so we look forward to that, man, family. Hey, this is a good, profound brother, man. He knows you know, his craft. Uh and it's just really honor to have the brother on, you know, here on Sankofa. Also the brother got another it's one of your teachers, right, King?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Phil, right?
Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah.
Philip. Okay, yeah, Dr. Phil, man. We're gonna try to get a hold, you know, try to get Dr. Phil on, man. That's brother Eric's teacher, man, and he's a profound. Hey, go ahead and explain who he is, Eric.
Well, Phil, call him Uncle Phil, man. Been knowing him about 30 years, and he's definitely um, been studying for a while. He does presentations and stuff like that. Um, he, Dr. Clark, man, before Dr. Clark passed, Phil and his wife were responsible for getting his library in order. And they got it and donated some books to, I think, Cornell Library and some other places. But yeah, so he's been all in for a while, and he likes to share his information. Phil is in his 70s, but the brother he's got a spark, man. He's got some fire. So my hope is that I can get him, tie him down, man. Get him, because he's always moving, doing something, zooming and stuff like that. So get him in here and have him do a piece. And he's in currently right now, man. He's putting some stuff together. And I'll put a link up to the website. But he's got a nice website where you can. He's got a nice list of books that he recommends and some other things. So he's a wealth of information. And like I said, I want to get him on. So I want to make sure we got a nice audience, man, because it's going to be on fire. I'm telling you. He's going to bring the heat for sure. And he's usually going to be right in his library. So he's going to hit you with the information right there, references right there. He'll have them. Yeah, he come prepared.
That's right.
Sure.
Man.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to get him in.
Yes, sir. We really look forward to your presentation and the great doctor, man.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Hey, so yeah, family, just tune in, man. Like I said, you know what I mean. Hey, Eric, you want to close out, King?
All right. Well, thanks again, man, for inviting me. I'm honored, man, just to be a part of a group that is moving forward and looking for some information that we don't necessarily have right now. That's where it is, and we reaching back, teaching these children. That's what we're supposed to do. So I'm supporting all of that all the time. So I'm glad I met you, brothers. Thanks for inviting me and continuing to invite me. Keep me posted on upcoming events, and I just want to do my part.
For sure, man. For sure, King. And we definitely appreciate you joining, man, and taking the time out, man. Bless us with your time, King. All right, family. We gonna tune out, man. And like I said, hey, come on in anytime you want to. We finna go to the back. We finna go to the back. We're gonna stop the live and go to the backyard, right? We're going to going to the basement real quick.
Cool.
So we ain't gotta we ain't gotta watch how we talk. We're going to the basement.
Okay.
Hey, so come on in, family.